Huge applause and fireworks go off inside the SoFi Stadium here in Los Angeles. The 5 tiers around us, all packed to the rafters. Stephen Warnock, this is going to be a tasty one.
Yeah, it sure is. I think it's just now, how do Belgium react to that news, that setback? They're losing a key player in midfield, Tielemans, who we know can pick those passes, has that composure on the ball just to steady the ship at times, and also can come up with big goals.
Yeah, so if you're just joining us, this is the headline news that's just broken here in LA in the last 10 minutes or so. Captain for Belgium, Youri Tielemans of Aston Villa, is out, injured in the warm-up, replaced by Hans van Aken. So that makes it 3 changes in all from their last 16 thumping of the USA, which of course was shrouded in all that controversy around following Balogun's suspended red card. So the other 2 changes that were planned, De Bruyne, who now has the armband, he was a doubt for that last 16 game, and Doku come in for Luca Bacchio, and Onana, of course, who's done his ACL and faces a lengthy layoff. So that is the double blow for Belgium in central midfield, as we welcome listeners to the BBC's World Service here to LA, to the SoFi Stadium. So for Belgium, Lukaku will take the role of super sub once more. If he comes on and scores, he will be the first Belgian to score in 4 World Cup games running. In terms of Spain, Fabian Ruiz replaces Pedri. That is their only change from the last gasp victory over Portugal, courtesy of that late goal from Arsenal's Mikel Merino, but he starts on the bench today again. Also on the bench, Nico Williams, Yeremy Pino, Victor Munoz. They could all play some part after injury. Unai Simon in goal, looking to continue this record streak. No goalkeeper has ever gone longer without conceding at the World Cup than he has, and Spain, indeed, as a team, are yet to concede here as the captains come together in the centre circle. Michael Oliver is the referee today, and he becomes the most capped English referee at World Cups. That's how I've turned it. He takes charge today of his 7th World Cup game. No English referee has taken charge of more. So Spain's players gathering together in their huddle, Belgium as well, and this is interesting. There's all the substitutes, Stephen. If we just lean forward from our 5th tier position here, Spain's players, as is very usual, in the centre of the pitch, the first 11, but all of Belgium's players have come together, the substitutes as well. And as we look down here, I mean, my eyesight's not that good, but I'm sure Tielemans is among them. We've seen Amadou Onana, even despite his ACL, he's here as well with his crutches. This is going to be fascinating, isn't it? And just put us into the mindset of that Belgium side in terms of being a player, when such a key player, your captain, has to pull out during a warm-up. How do you get your focus and your concentration back ready to face the European champions?
Well, I think there's 2 ways of looking at it. You can either be defeatist and think, well, now we're in trouble, this is going to be a real big concern for us, or you think, right, this is a collective, this is what we need, this is what we're going to have to do to win this game. We're going to have to play slightly different, we're going to have to trust the player that comes into the team. But I think that's the big thing, is that you've got to look into that midfield, and Van Aken, who comes in, and say to him, you're the man now who can provide, you're the player who's going to have to fill the boots, and you're more than adequate.
Well, he's had a decent tournament when he has come in, Van Aken. So we'll see how Belgium respond as the players gather around the centre circle. Before kick-off here in LA, we will have a moment's silence for those affected by the terrible wildfires in Spain. Our thoughts very much with all of those who have been affected by those events in Spain. So it will be Belgium to get us underway, playing in their change strip, the very light blue and pink bubbles on the shirts, the white shorts and the white socks. Spain in their traditional bright red shirts with the dark blue trim, the dark blue shorts and the dark blue socks. So here we go, it's Spain, the reigning European champions, up against Belgium, still pursuing this first ever major trophy with the remnants of their golden generation. A semi-final against the tournament favourites France awaits as Belgium get us underway kicking from right to left, and immediately they go all the way back to their goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois, who plays it out to the right-hand side over the halfway line. It's nicely chested down to Ketelare, again starting ahead of Romelu Lukaku as that ball forwards, looking for that run of Vanaken, couldn't quite keep it in. It was gathered anyway by Unai Simon, and it will be an early goal kick to Spain, who have Simon in goal. The back four of Porro, Kubasi, Laporte and Cucurella. Ahead of them, Rodri, the captain, and Ruiz, with Lamine Yamal, Olmo and Biner supporting Oyarzabal up front to Spain. Have it on this right-hand side. Here is Tottenham's Pedro Porro. Plays it in field to Lamine Yamal, and they'll win another throw, Spain. So Belgium with Courtois in goal. The back four of Castagna, Ngoy, Michele and De Kuyper. Ahead of them, Vanaken now with Tielemans pulling out in the warm-up, and Raskan, Doku, De Bruyne and Trossard supporting to Ketelare up top.
Vicky, I think it's
in possession.
I think it's really interesting that Doku's played on this left-hand side, and I think that's to try and take Yamal backwards towards his own goal, and hoping that they can force a 2v1 situation. Because before the game I was thinking, well, Trossard's the ideal man to help out in that left wing position, to double up on Yamal and stop him, but they've decided to go the other way.
Spain win the free kick and have it on this right-hand side. Yes, interesting tactical decision from Belgium. Spain have it at the back once more, just inside their own half. And they will pick it up with Laporte and steer it all the way back to Unai Simon, and now Pau Kubasi, the young 19-year-old Barcelona centre-half who's had such a good tournament for them. Here is Oyarzabal once again. Now works it out to the left-hand side, and here comes Spain, the first time to drive at that Belgian back line. Cucurella plays the ball in, it's well blocked away by Castagna, and the offside flag is up anyway on this near side as we lean forward. This is your first time in this stadium, isn't it, Stephen Warnock? And it is one of those where anything happens on the near touchline, the whole press box as one, high up in the gods here in the fifth tier, leans forward just to see what's happened. But yeah, you're slightly taller than me, so you've got an advantage.
I don't know about that. I've had about 4 nosebleeds in this seat. It's that high up. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? I mean, this is the thing. I'm going to have a little pop here. We're here to commentate, and they put us in the gods. And you think, this is our job, to deliver commentary. And every single game that I've been in, we've almost been on the back row. And it's just breathtaking to think how that... If you want to give the best of the competition, put us in decent locations so we can actually see the shirt numbers.
Well, I'm going to use my glasses to good effect. Gave them an extra clean this morning. I'm sure you did to yours
I did,
as
yeah.
well. As Belgium have it at the back with Thibaut Courtois. No chances early doors here in this quarter-final. 3 minutes in as the ball is sprayed out of play by Belgium over on the far side for a throw, which Marc Cucurella will take, and Michael Oliver says no, that wasn't quite taken from the right position, and it is now taken from what looks to me the exactly same position, but Michael Oliver's all right with it that time. So out to the right hand side comes Spain, and Pedro Porro got his first goal at the tournament, and indeed for Spain against Austria, as lovely work by Dani Olmo, sprays it out to the left hand side, and here is Alex Biner. Now they find Rodri, and out to the left once more with Marc Cucurella. Biner's made a run inside the area, but it's whipped in instead and cleared away by Michele. It's Fabian Ruiz there with that delivery as the ball goes out of play for a Spain throw. It's one of these things as well. This is a little commentator hack. When you're this high up, and indeed in general, you're always looking for little identifiers that will help you when the players essentially look like little dots running around. Alex Biner is wearing long sleeves. I mean, goodness me, as Lamine Yamal comes down the right-hand side, it's cleared away at the back by Michele. I mean, look, it's going to hit 30 degrees at some point here in LA today. That's what the weather forecast is telling us. It's going to be roasting inside this stadium, and Biner's turned up with long sleeves. I mean, I'm pleased as a commentator because he's the only player out there
say, you know,
that has
exactly
taken that in, so I can see that that's him. But
you're going to look at
man.
the pink boots as well. Everyone's got them on.
Oh gosh, I know. That really is a commentator's nightmare as it's cleared away at the back by Belgium. Up towards the halfway line, Belgium sitting deep. Spain with the cushioned header from Kubasi. And he will leave it to his experienced centre-half teammate Laporte as they work it forward once more. Here's Dani Olmo with the bleached blonde hair out to the right-hand side, and Lamine Yamal. A couple of step-overs, tried to feed it back to Olmo just outside the penalty area, but it will be picked up by Doku. Lovely bit of skill from the Belgian man. And cuts in field in the end, ran into trouble in the shape of Oyarzabal. Belgium have kept hold of it as they work it out to the right-hand side, and will just slow the play down and ease it back to Nathan Ngoy, who squares it to Brandon McKellar, who's been one of their standout players at this tournament. McKellar, it's only his 15th cap for Belgium. He certainly has been a bright spark for them in some dark times for Belgium. It's not been the best tournament for them overall, but they are building momentum. And you just wonder how much that sense of injustice and odds being against them might play into their psychology today. Spain pick it up on halfway. Of course, the Balogun controversy. They then dismantled the USA in the last 16, and in the warm-up today, their captain Yuri Tillemans pulling out injured. As Rodri picks it up in the centre circle. But that's what you've got to do, Stephen. You've got to use it to feed into that mentality of saying, right, we're up against it again and we're going to respond again.
Yeah, and they're in a fortunate position that this is a World Cup, and when you go to the latter stages of the World Cup, you know your squad's heavily packed with good players. They've got great players in the Belgium squad.
Here comes Spain once again. They are up, Belgium, against one of the best sides, the reigning European champions, who have gone from strength to strength themselves at this tournament after their opening draw with Cape Verde, who are, as it's cleared away out of play for a Spain throw. Cape Verde, story of the tournament still for you, Stephen? I mean, we've had so many good ones.
Yeah, no, I think they are. I think that was an incredible story, absolutely brilliant.
Oh, here's a man who knows about telling stories on the screen. Brad Pitt is in attendance here today in Los Angeles as he gets the first big cheer on the huge screen. I mean, it is absolutely massive, circular, runs around the top of the stadium. It's suspended from the roof as Spain give the ball away and Belgium pick it up midway through their own half. Goalless in these early exchanges, 7 minutes gone here in Los Angeles on 5 Live, the World Service and BBC Sounds, as Belgium work it to De Bruyne, plays it over the halfway line to Doku. He's almost managed to trick his way past, but will win the throw even if he can't keep the ball on the pitch on this occasion, as De Kuiper, Brighton, takes the throw and sends it back to McKellar, and now squares it to Nathan Ngoy and all the way back to Thibaut Courtois, Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, it's been a good start from Spain, dominating possession. I think a lot of the time they do go side to side and they just wait to pick the perfect pass. At the moment it's not quite happened. Yamal hasn't started the game well, a couple of loose passes, loose touches. It's almost been the story of his World Cup so far, but we just know at any moment he can just burst into life and produce that moment of magic.
Spain in possession on the right hand side. Here is Pedro Porro, works it back to the young Kubasi, who squares it now to Aymeric Laporte. Yes, Luis de la Fuente, the Spain manager, was asked about Lamine Yamal in his press conference here yesterday and admitted too, we know the best version of him, the attacking Lamine, is something we haven't quite seen yet here, not to the level we're used to, as Belgium come forward with a beautiful bit of skill and Spain clear away. Cucurella won't keep that in on the far side. It's a Belgium throw, Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, that's De Bruyne at his best, just getting on the half turn, but one player who's hugely impressed me so far in this tournament is Kubasi. That level of maturity for such a young player, that blend that him and Laporte have got between them has been quite brilliant.
And they're being tested here again as Laporte makes that interception under pressure from Doku, and Spain will work it forward. Good contesting by Belgium in the centre of the park, but Spain have played around that pressure nicely. And here is the long-sleeved Alex Biner. Now Cucurella picks it up left-hand side, just inside the Belgium half. Spain work their way forward. It's Ruiz, and then Lamine Yamal, who's out on the left-hand side now, is brought down, and that's going to be a free kick. I think Michael Oliver, no, has he got the yellow card out or the spray? I think it's the spray. We are about half a mile away up here, but yes, it was the spray. I'm pleased with my glasses there, but yes, free kick, right decision?
Yeah, it is the right decision. It's just the wrong thing to do from Trossard, because the ball's probably going to run out of play, and now Spain find themselves about 4 or 5 yards on the edge of the area, the left-hand side, with an opportunity to whip in a dangerous ball and put Belgium under pressure.
So approaching the 10-minute mark here in Los Angeles. First real set-piece opportunity for Spain, as it's whipped in low by Biner, cleared away by Belgium. We'll spin out to this right-hand side, and Fabian Ruiz, and the shot from Rodri on the penalty spot was blocked away. Cushioned header by Cucurella back into the box, cleared away by Castagna, flicking it out of the penalty area. And Belgium will go long, looking for the runners on the halfway line, but Spain make the interception. Belgium then in turn make their own interception, and Nico Raskin will steer it all the way back to Thibaut Courtois, and we stay goalless.
That was huge from Ngoy, a big block from the shot of Rodri. Rodri thinking, I've got free, I found space in the penalty area, just winds back on that right foot, hits the shot, and Ngoy gets out very quickly, and then he won the next ball as well. Great defending from him.
Jeremy Doku has drawn the foul for Belgium, and it will be a free kick. Belgium playing from right to left in this first half of the quarter-final. France await in the semi-finals. Of course, tomorrow on 5 Live, we will bring you full commentary of England against Norway, 10 p.m. I'm sure you'll be staying up and staying with us. Here's Courtois out to the right-hand side, just outside his own penalty area is Nathan Ngoy, but Belgium again patient, happy to pass it around at the back. Work forward now to McKellar. Looks for the long ball over the halfway line in the run of De Ketelaere. Cushioned header, bounces just past Van Aken, who's replaced Tielemans in the starting lineup. Tielemans, the captain, pulling out during the warm-up with injury. Huge blow for Belgium, who of course are missing his Aston Villa teammate Amadou Onana as well because of his ACL injury that he suffered against the USA. So a real test for Belgium's midfield of Van Aken and Rascan of Rangers, as the ball is picked up by Nathan Ngoy for Belgium inside his own penalty area and worked nicely to Rascan midway through his own half. Plays the early ball forward, looking for the run of De Ketelaere. Very good sliding, covering challenge to dispossess him. And it will be Laporte who gets the better of him on that occasion, and Spain who come forward once more.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to be at the races, the two centre-backs for Spain, because De Ketelaere makes some fantastic runs. He's got great timing as well, gets up, jumps, make sure he's trying to bring other players into play. There was an incident a couple of minutes before where Kabasi didn't quite read the flight of the ball, just nicked in front, headed the ball down into midfield, but Belgium couldn't retain possession. But he's a real threat in the forward areas.
Here is Rodri outside the centre circle. As Spain look to build once more. Yes, De Ketelaere getting his first 2 goals of the tournament in the last match against the USA, as the ball is chipped through into the penalty area. The shot was blocked away. Spain are appealing for a handball there, and the ball instead ricochets behind for a Belgium goal kick. VAR, of course, will check. It was Alex Biner in there who managed to get the shot away.
Well, he's the one who makes the run from left outside position into in, and he makes that run, and then as he takes the shot against Ngoy again, who gets close to him, it's never a penalty, it's right on top of him, he just gets so close to him. Again, outstanding defending from Ngoy.
Yeah, it does strike his arm, but as Stephen says, it's very close and the arm is in a natural position. Michael Oliver, of course, hugely experienced in the Premier League. We'll never get that there, as De Kuiper chips the ball into the penalty area, and it's claimed by Unai Simon, all in bright green.
See, I wouldn't do that if I was De Kuiper. I'd say to Doku, 1v1 with Pedro Porro, go and take him on. Just take him on every single time, because when I underlap you, now I'm going to take your space. Well, what Doku wants and what Porro doesn't want is space, because Doku can knock it past him comfortably and leave him for dead. Porro is absolutely petrified of him at the moment. Every time he's got the ball, he's close, he doesn't want him to turn, he's making sure he's putting his studs down the back of his ankle, making things really difficult for Doku to get comfortable.
Here are Spain in possession. It's Kubasi, squares it to Laporte. 13 and a half minutes played, goalless in this quarter-final. Here on 5 Live, the World Service and BBC Sounds, as Oyarzabal, who has 4 goals for Spain at this World Cup. That's the most goals scored in a World Cup for Spain in a single edition since David Villa, who got 5 in 2010 when Spain lifted the trophy for the first time. Here is Dani Olmo, 30 yards out, central position in field from Lamine Yamal, who's back on the right-hand side now. But it's been given away and Belgium will come forward, and here is Doku. Got the opportunity to run at Kubasi on this occasion, now takes on Pedro Porro and gets past him, squeezes the ball out to the right-hand side. It's De Ketelaere, shot driven in, blocked by Marc Cucurella just inside the penalty area, and De Ketelaere will keep it alive. Cushioned header out to the right-hand side, cleared away. That cross from Castagna by Spain, but a bit of promise for Belgium.
Yeah, brilliant from Doku again, a player who can go both ways, inside and outside. And they're just driving at the heart of Spain's defence, going on the inside, and Porro, again, he can't live with him, he can't get near him, he needs help, and Yamal will not give him that help.
Out to the left-hand side, come Belgium once more. Well, Do you know what? I do agree with you, Stephen Warner, but Lamine Yamal, to his credit, has just dispossessed Doku there and done a lovely turn into the centre. Then he himself is dispossessed. I mean, I don't think he heard you, given how high we are, but you never know. Maybe he did. Here's Cucurella out to the left-hand side. But in general, that pattern you would expect to hold true. Although, again, Luis de la Fuente, when he was questioned about Lamine Yamal in the press conference, pointed out all the defensive work that he did against Portugal and really praised him for it. As Spain play the ball to Dani Olmo, couple of touches, can't get the shot away, just couldn't bring the ball under his spell, and Castagna will allow it to roll out for a goal kick to Belgium, and we're still goalless, 15 minutes gone.
Yeah, what a shame, because that was a lovely position that Dani Olmo took up. He took it up in the centre of the penalty area, and as he tries to receive the ball on his back foot, he can't quite just take it away.
So, goal kick to be taken for Belgium by Thibaut Courtois. 0-0 here on 5 Live, BBC Sounds in the World Service. And I have to say, in our commentary position, I've just noted an enormous bug that's been flying around as the ball is all the way through with Unai Simon. And I have to tell you, Stephen, that last time Dion Dublin and I were here for a commentary, the bug came and it landed in our commentary position, and just like that, perfect first touch, Dion flicked it into about row Z. So I'm expecting the same reactions from you should this enormous, it's like a big cockroach, it's green winged and it buzzes around and it's very clacky. But yes, no pressure. I'm sure you will absolutely step up as Dion did, as that's a gorgeous ball out to the left-hand side. Boyner trying to reach it, but there was just too much on it. Not quite at the moment for Spain, but right idea, as it so often is. It
was the right idea, but it was the wrong pass. He tried to hit it with the outside of his foot there, Pedro Porro, and spin it out to the left-hand side to Baena, but the ball was just a simple ball into midfield, and then they had a 4v3 situation. Spain a little bit wasteful in forward areas at the moment.
Forward by Rascan. It's easy enough for Laporte to chest down and play to Rodri. Just outside the centre circle and field now to Lamine Yamal. He goes down, no free kick given. Didn't look much in it from our position as Doku, who's really growing into the game here for Belgium, plays it out to the right hand side. And now Leandro Trossard, who's been quiet so far, back in field to Doku. Will work it out to the right once more as the cross is delivered in, and De Kuyper was up there. A diving header, whistle's gone. As De Bruyne got the shot away, which was cleared by Simon anyway, but the foul has gone against Belgium, and Spain will have the free kick inside their own penalty area. Spain 0, Belgium 0 in this quarter-final.
Yeah, he's really lucky here, Pedro Porro, because he switches up at the back post, and De Kuyper comes in and tries to head the ball, and he heads the ball off the back of Porro's head. I'm not so sure that's a foul at all. I'm not sure why the referees deemed that a foul. Thought it was just a coming together of the players. But it's just starting to show its teeth a bit, the game. Belgium are starting to counter-attack, and they're counter-attacking well.
Spain in possession. The ball is cleared away by Fabian Ruiz. Gets a little ricochet, which will take it through to Marc Cucurella just inside the Spain half on the left-hand side. As Spain build once more from the back. Here is Pau Kubasi. Plays the long ball forward. It's poor. And it's straight into the hands of Thibaut Courtois as Luis de la Fuente barks instructions on the touchline for Spain. He was reminiscing yesterday, not entirely happily, but about watching that quarter-final penalty shootout defeat against Belgium 40 years ago. And Spain under pressure in their own penalty area, played out from the back. And Unai Simon will clear it up towards halfway, looking for Oyarzabal, who chests it down, collected by Dani Olmo. But Belgium are doing well at pressing Spain back inside their own half, but Spain have done better to play around that press. And here goes Pedro Porro down the right hand side. This is where Spain are clicking, but a tumble in the centre actually sees the free kick go the other way. I don't think Spain were really appealing for the set pieces. Lamine Yamal went down, but it just all again just fizzled out for Spain there at the crucial moment.
Yeah, everything just seems to be going against Yamal at the moment. He just slipped there as the ball was played into him, and then he brought down his man, and it just draws a foul for Belgium. But yeah, you just feel like Yamal's almost trying to force things a little bit too much. But listen, again, you just don't discount him. You just got to keep your eye on him at all times because of the danger that he brings. And
Spain in possession with Pedro Porro midway through his own half. That's how Luis de la Fuente ended that little comment on Yamal yesterday in the press conference. He hasn't quite produced that moment of brilliance yet, but he will do. De promise from Luis de la Fuente. And as Stephen Warnock says, he is one of those players, Lamine Yamal, runner-up in the Ballon d'Or 2025. Spain's youngest ever debutant, their youngest goal scorer, 18 years old, actually turns 19 next week, so he's getting on a bit, but one of the brightest, best players in the world. And a man who, like Messi, who, like Harry Kane, can step up in those big moments as the ball is cleared away by Michele. Spain still putting on the pressure with Oyarzabal, who's done really well there and stolen it. Here is Lamine Yamal, went for the curler, bottom corner, a couple of yards wide, 0-0.
What is Raskin doing? I mean, why he's taking his time and thinking that there's going to be no pressure on him. He gets pressured from behind by Oyarzabal, and then they win the ball back and it goes into Yamal, and Yamal, so often we've seen that ability to bend the ball past the far post with that right foot and bring it back in. This time he can't quite do it. He wanted a corner, he felt like it took a slight deflection on the way through, but Belgium's own downfall there.
And we are still goalless, 21 minutes gone here on 5 Live, the World Service and BBC Sounds, as Spain make that interception through the head of Pedro Porro, and the ball will go out of play for a throw to Belgium, who take it quickly in field now to the lively Doku, who's trying to glide past those red shirts again, and then plays a terrible ball out to the left-hand side.
That sums him up though, Vicky. That sums him up at times, Doku. He does the unthinkable, and you think, how's he just got past that player? How's he done that? And then a simple 5-yard ball, he passes out of play.
So Pedro Porro takes the throw for Spain and will get it back from Olmo, then clears up towards the halfway line. But Oyarzabal is waiting in that tussling on the halfway. And you see, Spain awarded a free kick. That's a little bit of a strange one from Michael Oliver, because it felt like they were in possession anyway. They'd worked it out to the right-hand side and he scored it back. Yeah,
it was just Ngoy trying to get it round. I think it's Oyarzabal and just trying to make sure he tried to pinch the ball. Michael Oliver felt that it was enough to blow the whistle for him. Like you, Vicky, I thought he could have just carried the game on.
So Spain coming forward, that's a nice ball to Dani Olmo, who lays it off to Lamine Yamal. And Lamine Yamal's done really well. Then as he blocks off there, no, says the assistant on that near side. And so Belgium can bring it away. Did Dani Olmo mean that? Do we think
Oh, he did.
Warnock?
100% he did. I mean, he's got that ability, that vision to see players who other players might not see.
As Raskin plays it out to the right-hand side, and it's Belgium's turn to play the ball straight out of play. And it goes out of play for a throw to Spain. But first we will have the hydration break, which gives me an opportunity to bring in Guillaume Balaguer sitting alongside us. Well, Guillaume, last time we were here, you told me the game was like paella. So what do we think this game is like so far?
It's a tortilla de patatas. It's a potato omelette, because we know the ingredients, we know what's going to be on the pan, but you have to be patient. First do the potatoes and then the egg. To be honest, Belgium are proposing a game that really suits Spain. Okay, it's all a little bit too slow. The heat is, perhaps it feels like one of the hottest days in any of the games I've been to. But they have decided to pressure high. It's easy to beat that, and that allows us to counter-attack a lot of space in behind. We haven't been accurate in that pass before the last one, or even in the last one. And then when we have more of the control, they go medium block, but they're not very aggressive either. So it feels like at some point it will happen. But today, for some reason, Rodri and Cucurella and Porro, Lamine, they don't feel like they're sharp, they're accurate. I just feel it will come.
From a Belgium perspective, Stephen, how pleased do you feel they'll be with that first half? Particularly, again, if you're just joining us, we will keep repeating this because it was such big news for Belgium. Yuri Tielemans, their captain of Aston Villa, pulled out during the warm-up through injury, so Vanaken has come in for him. They're already missing Onana, of course, who's done his ACL. So with all that in context, Stephen, how do you think Belgium will assess this first period?
I think they'll be very happy. I think there's just an element where Rudi Garcia will be saying to them now, just stop making errors at the back or inviting pressure onto yourselves, because Spain press so well in high areas, and if they do turn the ball over, then they've got 10 yards, 20 yards to run at the goal rather than 40, 50 yards. I think one of the other things they'll be saying is get Doku on the ball, make sure that he's running in space, give him space. When he receives the ball, almost run away from him. Don't give him options, too many options. Just give him the option of beating his man and taking him on, and I think that'll suit him down to the ground. I think when he gets too many thoughts in his head, that's when the problems come into Doku's mind.
Well, it's been a very impassioned team talk from Luis de la Fuente, who is imparting some final instructions to Lamine Yamal. The Spain players are still discussing together. Fabian Ruiz and Rodri, they know, you get the sense that they feel there are more levels that they can take this up to early on in this next period. Skier.
Lamine has been talked to by Unai Simon, by Rodri and by the manager. I think he's a little bit anxious, a little bit accelerating his decisions and a little bit too frustrated. The game is a long game, he's got to be patient.
Well, that's something De La Fuente was talking about in the press conference yesterday, wasn't it? That, you know, Lamine doesn't need more motivation. Sometimes you just need to calm him down. Because, look, he's 18, he's one of the best players in the world. Of course he wants to have a glorious World Cup. You know, the likes of Messi, the likes of Harry Kane, the likes of Mbappe are doing. But it's not quite happened for him, just the one goal so far against Saudi Arabia. As we get back underway, and Spain in possession, 0-0 here with Belgium in this quarter-final. France await in the semi-finals. Of course, we will bring you full commentary on 5 Live tomorrow. England against Norway. Commentary starts at 10 p.m. UK time, and on Sunday we've got the final quarter-final. Decides who would be England's opponents were they to progress to the semi-final, either Argentina or Switzerland. As Kibasi has it for Spain, just inside his own half. We'll just pause and draw De Bruyne in. He waves his arm, De Bruyne, taking the armband in the absence of the injured Tielemans. Waves his Belgian teammates forward, and they close Rodri down outside the penalty area, and they're pressing as a unit here, Belgium. Spain won't mind that, but Spain play over the top, and that's easily shepherded back by De Kuyper to Thibaut Courtois, all in bright yellow. And he will start Belgium off from the back once again as De Kuyper sends it back to Michele. Out to the right-hand side as De Courtois will launch it long, flicked on by De Ketelaere, looking for Doku. It's well defended by Spain, but Doku will come away with it. Pedro Porro getting his foot in there and brought away eventually by Lamine Yamal, but that's a poor ball by Yamal. He's really not on it today, and Porro helps him out.
Yeah, there's just 2 passages of play there. Spain trying to play out from the back, they get closed down, then suddenly they decide to go long, but they don't have a focal point. Belgium go long, they go into De Ketelaere, and suddenly they're on the attack because he's capable of pinning players, flicking the ball on, and as long as they've got runners, they'll find a way out.
Here comes Spain. Kibasi stepping up from the back, the young centre-half out to the right-hand side, and his fellow teenager, Lamine Yamal. Dink ball with the outside of his boot. Nice idea, but won't be met by Biner, and Courtois can gather 0-0.
Again, just that ability just to try and pick a pass there, almost rushed it. When I looked at it, I thought De Kuyper's stepped off him, he's given him 6 or 7 yards, and I'm thinking, go and take him on, but he's just trying to force things, and it's just that maturity that needs to kick in. Players around him just need to calm him down a little bit.
Belgium in possession. Here is Nathan Ngoy to his centre-half teammate Michele, and now Doku. Once again, plays the ball forward. That's a nice one. It's a good run by Vernaken. Back to Doku once more, approaching the Spain penalty area. A couple of step-overs, but no way through the red shirts of Porro and Rodri. So we'll find Rascan. Picks up Castagna on that far side. Now Rascan once more. Here's Castagna. Plays it to the edge of the centre circle, and Nathan Ngoy. Spain have everybody back defending. As Belgium come forwards with Michele, who then turns. I think patience at the moment for both teams is the name of the game.
Yeah, it's been a trend of the World Cup where teams are sitting back and making life difficult for the opposition to break them down, and we're seeing it here. Both teams quite happy to sit back at times and just absorb pressure. I think both want to counter-attack, so yeah, it's just a bit of a game of chess at the moment.
Stephen Warnock here with us on 5 Live, the World Service and BBC Sounds. If you're in the UK, you can also watch this match live on BBC One. If you'd like to, you can use the Watch with 5 Live option on iPlayer as Porro plays the ball into the area. Dani Olmo saved by Courtois, but the follow-up is in. It was an error from Thibaut Courtois. He could save it, but he couldn't push it away from the danger area. And Fabian Ruiz is there. Belgium trying to get the block in, but they couldn't make that decisive contact to keep it out of the goal. And Spain have the breakthrough in LA. Spain 1, Belgium 0.
Well, we've been waiting for a moment of quality, and we finally get it. And it's down the right-hand side. It's a lovely little interplay between Pedro Porro and Lamine Yamal. This time, Yamal plays the ball into Porro. Porro gets the cross in. He cuts it back to Dani Olmo, and Dani Olmo hits it across goal. I think Courtois is a little bit unsighted. It's not the greatest of saves from a goalkeeper of his ability. He pushes it back out into the path of Ruiz, and Ruiz drills it into the net. Is it deserved? I'm not so sure, but it's a moment of quality from Spain, and it's changed this game.
The despairing Castagna trying to make the block. It went through his legs, that shot from Fabian Ruiz. And as you say, it's because of the quality of Thibaut Courtois. It's a smart stop, and he gets good power on the glove, but it goes straight back into the danger area, and Fabian Ruiz says, thank you very much, I'll just tuck that away.
Yeah, I just wonder, we haven't really seen a different angle of it. We've seen a one where it's almost behind Ruiz as it comes in, and I want to see a different angle to see what Courtois' actual sight was of the ball, and whether he could see the shot coming in, or whether he's just almost reacted thinking where it might land. But it seemed quite close to Courtois as he went down to his right hand side. Yeah, it didn't look the strongest of arms, or whether he could have held it, not so sure. Have to see it again.
So slight issue for Timothy Castagna here. The Belgium medical staff are on. Looks as though he's got a little knock in the face, and they are just providing some treatment as we see the referee cam. Does that give us any more clues as to what happened there?
Yeah, I think he is ever so slightly unsighted, and whether he thinks that maybe the initial shot from Dani Olmo is going to go near post and he just doesn't quite adjust his feet properly. But I think for a goalkeeper of Courtois' quality, I think we have to put that down as a little bit of an error from him.
So Castagna currently off the field receiving treatment. Belgium temporarily down to 10, and Spain, the reigning European champions, who are yet to concede at this World Cup, lead by a goal to nil here on 5 Live, the World Service and BBC Sounds, as Spain take the throw from the far side, and Rodri will bring it forwards. Belgium still with Castagna off the field. Can Spain take advantage and double their advantage? 32 minutes gone in this game here in LA as Spain move it around midway through the Belgium half. It's picked up by the goal scorer Fabian Ruiz. The one change in for Pedri, made by Luis de la Fuente. Pedri's such a talented player, but Fabian Ruiz given the nods, and it is he who has given Spain the lead in this quarter-final, with France awaiting in the semi-finals as Lamine Yamal picks it up on the right-hand side, approaching the penalty area. A couple of step-overs, he's done really well, then pulls the ball back, chipped in by Rodri, cleared away by Ngoy, and Spain will have it once more with Kibasi midway through the Belgium half as they work it down the right-hand side. Once more, Lamine Yamal. Oh, brilliant bit of skill. It's Lamine Yamal. Oh, he was bumped over there, was he, by Doku? Yes, he was. Just outside the D. Spain with a set piece in a very, very good position, and they, at the moment, are completely on top.
Yeah, it's incredible what one simple pass can do that leads to a goal, and it was a 5-yard pass from Yamal. Suddenly now he wants to take people on. The ball's getting tighter to his feet. He's drifting past people, and Doku there knew he was in trouble because Yamal had just pulled back his left foot, that trigger to send the ball outside the post, and he, just a little bit of a nudge in the back from Jeremy Doku.
So Castagna is back on the pitch having received treatment. And 4 Spain players are huddled around this ball, deep in discussions. They're all bending over, so their hands are on their knees. Where Sabel's one of them, almost there too. He now moves away. Lamine Yamal and Alex Baina. So they've got options here, Spain. Which one is it going to be? A 3-player wall. It will be left for Lamine Yamal, who went for the curler. It's beaten away by Courtois. Again, Belgium struggling to clear. They will just get it out to the left-hand side of the penalty area, and it will go out of play via Doku for a corner. Well, again, it was a similar situation, wasn't it? The ball came in, Courtois made the save. That time managed to steer it back to his own wall, but Spain with the runners still making it so hard for Belgium to clear away that second contact.
Yeah, he didn't look comfortable again, Courtois, because he saw the ball all the way.
Biner takes the corner short. Fabian Ruiz, the goal scorer, just let it run away from him, but he has managed to find Dani Olmo. Then Dani Olmo runs right into Michael Oliver, who raises his hands in apology, and he's getting booed by the entirety of the stadium. And Dani Olmo, to his credit, is smiling, or is it more of a grimace, do we think? I mean, the replay, it just looks like Michael Oliver's rugby.
From Michael Oliver.
I know, he's held his ground, he's almost rugby tackled him. Look, they've just come together, but even from our position high in the fifth tier, you could see that happening. And you know, Michael Oliver will honestly be as disappointed as anybody else with that, because it was a good opportunity for Spain, and now it's going to have to be a drop ball. But Dani Olmo as well, I mean, he saw Michael Oliver there and he didn't try and take evasive action, he just ran right into him.
Well, sometimes when you're trying to avoid each other, it's almost like, am I going this way, are you going that way, which way? Yeah, just one of those things. He thought he'd taken up a good position there, Michael Oliver, because he was so far away from the play, and then they switched the ball quickly, Spain.
Ball goes over the top, looking for the run of Alex Bynett, who controls on the angle, deflected behind. They're appealing for a handball anyway, Belgium, and they're going to get it. The whistle goes. It did look like he might have controlled with his arm, though, there, Alex Bynett, and it's going to be a free kick to Belgium. But yes, just going back to that Michael Oliver one, it's almost like when you're in the corridor, isn't it, in a hotel, and you come, someone's coming the other way, and you go, oh, sorry, I'll go, oh, no, sorry. Just like that, as the offside flag is up against Belgium. Spain will have a free kick, but that goal just seems to have settled Spain very much into their rhythm.
Oh, it will have, yeah, absolutely. And they're starting to make some lovely runs. Baena there making a run again from that left-hand touchline into the centre-forward position. He's just done exactly the same again, and it just frees up a little bit of space for Cucurella on that left wing as well. The movement from Spain at the moment is causing Belgium a lot of problems.
Kibasi in possession, infield to Fabian Ruiz, who steers it back to Unai Simon. Clears it up looking for Lamine Yamal, headed away on the halfway line by De Kuyper. Dani Olmo will drive it forward. De Kuyper is there again, midway through his own half, and steers it all the way back to Thibaut Courtois. Spain 1, Belgium 0. Belgium unbeaten in their last 18 games, second longest run in their history, in fact. And Spain have it just inside the Belgian half. Spain unbeaten in their last 15 since losing the Nations League final on penalties to Portugal over a year ago. But when you look at normal time, it's 35 games unbeaten since losing to Colombia in a friendly in March 2024. As Olmo has it, that was lovely play. Oyarzabal trying to flick it back to Dani Olmo, and Belgium make the interception. Here's to Ketelara in the centre circle, but he had 6 red shirts around him there. And he's having to work so hard as the lone striker, as Cucurella picks it up on the far side. Spain 1, Belgium 0.
Well, De Bruyne just doesn't have that energy to be able to get alongside him now, so he's playing as that lone striker, De Ketelara. But the play, the way that the Spanish players see each other, the way they try and execute is just brilliant.
Here they come forward again. Lamine Yamal looking for Dani Olmo. It's intercepted by Belgium. Here's Trossard, who really has been a peripheral figure, as Cucurella challenges him. Forward by Timothy Castagna. Nice touch by De Ketelara, but Laporte's done really well to cover that and use his body. Good tussle between them. Both brilliant players and the ball end up off the pitch, and then a little bit of afters there with Laporte and De Ketelara. The throw has gone the way of Belgium. He's actually going to leave it to Ketelara for Timothy Castagna, but Spain with a little bit of defending to do. Here comes Van Aken as Belgium work the throw central. Now Rascan plays it forward and taken off the toes onto Ketelara by Dani Olmo, and that's a nice move infield as Spain find Lamine Yamal in the centre circle out to the right hand side. They really are brimming with confidence, Spain, having taken the lead through Fabian Ruiz, as Lamine Yamal has it. 30 yards or so from the Belgian goal, out to the right hand side. Now Pedro Porro infield to Rodri, squares the play to Marc Cucurella. Now infield once more to Dani Olmo, out to the right hand side, and Rodri will work it to Lamine Yamal. Lovely step inside past De Kuyper, gets past Doku as well and hits the side netting. Low driven shot from just inside the box. Tell you what, Lamine Yamal is starting to turn up. Yeah,
just again that confidence from the first pass from the goal is just, he's brimming now. The first touch, wow, stunning. He just sends De Kuyper the wrong way with the simplest of movements, and he makes it look so easy, but it's absolutely not easy. And then you're just expecting him to hit the back of the net, at least make Courtois work. Drags his shot past the near post, wasn't the greatest of connections.
So it stays at 1-0 to Spain, the reigning European champions. As Doku has it on the left-hand side for Belgium, approaching the penalty area, trying his own bit of trickery, pulls it in. De Ketelaere plays it to the edge of the box, misses De Bruyne, but picked up by Trossard. Out to the right-hand side in Castagna. Spain appealing for offside, not given. Castagna's ball in, cleared away by Spain. Picked up once more by Trossard, in field to De Bruyne. This is beautifully worked by Belgium. Ball into the area, De Ketelaere is there and makes it 1-1. It's the best bit of play from Belgium in the game, and it results in a beautifully worked equaliser. De Ketelaere with a stooping header, but it was all about the build-up play from Belgium, and we're level in LA.
Well, it was going to have to take something special to break down this stubborn Spanish defence. Not conceded in the World Cup so far, but it took a moment of brilliance. And the brilliance is the patience from Belgium, but it's also the run from De Ketelaere. Talked about his ability to get beyond the strikers, to get in front of them. As the ball comes in, a lovely little play from De Bruyne, and the cross into the box, he just gets himself in front of Kubasi. Kubasi switches off, he doesn't see him, he can't get close to him. De Ketelaere, he gets beyond him, and then he nods it, glances it. Not near post, but far post. Simon, he's rooted to his spot, he can't get anywhere near it. It's a quite brilliantly worked goal from Belgium.
As Stephen says, Spain breached for the first time in this competition. And Unai Simon, well, he still holds the record for the longest spell gone as a goalkeeper, not conceding at a World Cup. But that record has ended. It was 609 minutes coming into this, so I'll have to do some quick maths. That goal going in on 41 minutes, so I make that 660 if I can do mental maths and watch Spain coming forward at the same time. But I mean, it's an incredible run, it's an incredible record. It'll take some beating, but the key thing is that we're 1-1, and that's Spain 650. There you go. Thank you very much. Producer Jack back in the studio, who's clearly better at mental maths than me, as the Belgian players come forwards down the left-hand side. Here's Trossard, but what a boost for Belgium, Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, and just to know that you can hurt Spain, that's the difficult thing when you're coming in against a team that hasn't conceded and you go a goal down. You suddenly think, oh, this is going to be so tough for us now to find a route back into this game. But now they've got belief that they can hurt them, they can get at them. It's almost like the Rocky movie with Drago, isn't it? He can be hurt, you can hurt him. It's exactly the sort of feeling that you'll get as a team when you think, do you know what, now we can break that back line.
Well, Spain look a little rattled here. They've just conceded a free kick just inside their own half, and Pau Kubasi, their 19-year-old centre-half, has gone into the book for that foul on De Bruyne. Well, this is what we spoke about before the tournament. Plenty of time to go as we approach half-time. We've got the whole second half to come. But ahead of this game, the way that Belgium have just had to battle through various scenarios, how will it affect their mentality? They have shown that fighting spirit here against the Spanish side, who looked as though they were going to go from strength to strength. Since that goal, the opener for Fabian Ruiz, they'd looked completely in control, and then bang, suddenly Belgium hit them with a moment of real quality as Belgium have the ball with Castagna just inside the Spain half, and they'll win a throw over on the far side.
We talked about the game before the game. It'll be moments within a game and how you take those moments, and they've had a couple of moments, Belgium, and then when they've been given that opportunity, quality into the box, brilliant run from De Ketelaere, and a brilliant finish as well.
And a shocking ball there from Van Aken. Castagna helps him out with a good challenge. Lamine Yamal, they will pick up the ball as De Kuiper then dispossesses him.
That is generous.
I just wonder whether, let's see where this is taken from, because there was another challenge that where the whistle's gone for a free kick to Spain. Didn't look much in it from De Kuiper. I just wondered whether there was one outside the centre circle that it might have been called back from, but no, it's been given for that foul from De Kuiper, which is a little bit harsh, as Stephen Warnock says. Here's Lamine Yamal, right-hand side, pulls it back to Pedro Porro. Here is Kubasi. We have 30 seconds plus added time to play in this first half. Spain won, Belgium won, Spain conceding for the first time at this World Cup. Out to the right-hand side, and Lamine Yamal approaching the penalty area. Will pull it back And get the support from Biner, and now infield to Pedro Porro, who went for the curler. Well, given that he only scored his first Spain goal of his career against Austria, I don't think Stephen Warnock, outside of the penalty area, going for the top corner, that was necessarily the right decision, although
not on his
you
left
never know.
foot. Not on his left foot. When it's on his right foot, possibly, but when you're on your left foot and you're coming inside, and make sure that you try and pick a pass. There's better players in forward areas. I can say this for a reason, because I've been the fullback, but you're a fullback for a reason.
Well, to be fair, as we enter 5 minutes of added time, Tottenham fans will be saying, well, we have seen him hit them, scored their goal of the season once, got a super hit against Burnley, but as you say, on his wrong foot and with the quality of players around him. It was always ambitious from Pedro Porro, as Kubasi has it now for Spain. But this game just has a very different feel to it now. After Belgium finding that equaliser, as Dani Olmo tries to control, does manage to get a toe on the ball, it spins away from him. It's a rather nervy clearance from Michele, who knew that there were other players lurking in the shape of Oyarzabal, and it's going to be a corner to Spain on the far side, 1-1.
Yeah, he did the right thing, because he didn't know what was around him, and when you don't know what's around you, deal with the situation, because if you switch off for a second and suddenly you go, oh no, I didn't realise he was as close as he was, he can really be punished for it.
Well, they're not really covering the short option here, Belgium. Lamine Yamal is there as the short option. Doku's on the edge of the penalty area. Spain do swing it into the edge of the box. It's a poor delivery, but it's headed straight out of play again for another corner. Safety first by Kevin De Bruyne at that near post. So, Spain to send it in once more from the far side. That's a better delivery, ricocheting around in the 6-yard box. Belgium trying to get the foot in. Ruiz sees his effort blocked, and Belgium will try and counter now with their goal scorer, Diqueta Lara, who gets past Spain's goal scorer, Ruiz. Almost managed to squeeze it through to Doku, but Dani Olmo in the perfect position, and now Olmo brings it forward. Grandstand finish to this first half on 5 Live, the World Service and BBC Sounds, as Spain have it with Biner just outside the penalty area, lays it off to the left hand side as Belgium get the bodies back. Lamine Yamal twisting and turning back to Biner, still left hand side just outside the penalty area, dinks the ball in, but there's nobody there as the cross goes all the way across the 6-yard box, but nobody gambled for Spain, and it's out of play for a Belgian goal kick. 1-1.
Well, there's the difference between having a natural goal scorer in Diqueta Lara, who wants to get beyond his defenders and get into a goal scoring position, where you've got Oyarzabal, who wants to sort of drift and wants to link up play, doesn't want to play on the shoulders of defenders, and that was a poacher's goal. That was a ball of absolute brilliance, and down the other end, what a wasted opportunity, because Doku, he had the freedom of the pitch in behind. All he had to do, Diqueta Lara, was just lift the ball over the back man of Spain, and Doku's got the freedom of the pitch.
So close indeed for a brilliant break for Belgium. As 2 Spain players collide there, Dani Olmo and Mikel Oyarzabal. Michael Oliver has called the medical staff on straight away, and Oyarzabal saying, well, no, hang on a minute, just wait, because actually we just had a bit of a collision. He's not happy here, Oyarzabal, but Michael Oliver deeming that coming together, because there was a bit of a clash of heads in there, needed treatment.
Well, don't go down holding your nose if you're okay. I mean, if Michael Oliver was on top of it as close as he looked on the screen in front of us, I'd have 100% called the medics on as well. It looked like a real nasty clash of heads.
Well, both players are up. Oyarzabal is still complaining to Michael Oliver.
I'm not so sure what he's complaining about.
It's certainly not from Spain's perspective. As we get back underway, they're both okay, and it will be Thibaut Courtois to clear it over the halfway line, and Belgium have got 2 on 3 here. Good hold up play by Diqueta Lara. Van Aken now feeds it to De Bruyne out to the left hand side, and Jeremy Doku, left hand edge of the penalty area, now cuts into the box, but he's well marshalled by Spain. Doku still has it, trying to get down to the byline, and then it looked like a completely miscued cross that actually floated over the crossbar. It's one of these where that miskick could have seen it sail like a cross-come shot into the far corner, but in the end it went over the bar, harmlessly so. Spain goal kick.
There's so many times where I wish wingers would realise the thoughts of a fullback at times, because a fullback's thinking, do not take me into the penalty area, do not back me up, because all I have to do is dangle a leg at you. And so often they turn out and go the other way. And I think when you're that quick as Doku is, go and run at Pedro Porro and almost make him invite that challenge. It's incredible how little he does it.
Belgium win a free kick, a low five between Raskan and De Kuyper, because they will be delighted with the way that this first half has turned out. Spain have been on top. When they went ahead through Fabian Ruiz, as Michael Oliver blows for half-time, when Spain went ahead through Fabian Ruiz, it looked as though they were going to ease away from Belgium. Belgium, who lost their captain Yuri Tillemans in the warm-up, but a quite brilliant move finished off with a low diving header from De Ketelaere on the edge of the 6-yard box has absolutely changed things once again. And Belgium, given everything they faced coming into this game and the way that their tournament's panned out, well, they're up for the fight once again, aren't they?
No, they absolutely are. It's been a fascinating game, and as you say there, Belgium dominate the football, but Spain dominate the football, but Belgium are quite happy to sit in, counter-attack as and when they need to, and they've produced a moment of magic, a brilliant move that's led them to get back into the game. But they'll be going in at half-time saying, now, if we can concentrate in defence, if we can minimalise our mistakes, then we can hurt this Spanish team.
We have a game on our hands, Steve Crossman. Half-time here in LA. The reigning European champion Spain won, Belgium won.
Live from Los Angeles, with Beyonce on the speakers, with Brad Pitt in the stadium, with Penelope Cruz in the stadium, and Stephen Warnock is making Rocky IV references.
What else do you want, Steve?
I liked it. It made sense. Mate. It did make sense. It's the opponent seeing this machine in front of me has a weakness.
Absolutely, and that is a huge psychological aspect to get past in this game, to get past in this tournament, for a team coming in who know that this Spanish team is so organised, so difficult. They don't give up many opportunities, they don't make many mistakes, so you're going to have to be at your brilliant best to actually break them down, to produce something. Well, they've just done that, and what we've seen in this game is that they can do it more. They've just got to pick the right opportunities, but so far so good from Belgium.
Guillaume, what do you make of that first half then?
That Belgium is playing in Spanish hands, the way they're defending. No aggression, a lot of space in between the lines. When they pressure high, we beat them easily. But if they score in the first chance they've got, which is what they're banking on, and a little bit of a spark from Doku, then it creates doubts, no doubt about it. And after the 1-1, Spain seemed a little bit in shock. But this is a game that only Spain can lose and win. The chances, if they're more accurate in the passes, if they're more accurate in the finishing, yes, Spain should win it. They are superior. But it's a World Cup, and obviously every mistake counts. It wasn't a mistake, really. I mean, Kovacic would have been stronger with the Ketelaere, but
it was a good goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, they worked at it very, very well. Just passed the ball. If you have De Bruyne, you know he's gonna do a pass at some point that will open up the defense, and good finish. But it's the only chance, their only chance they had. So it's the script that Belgium had written, but they are playing to Spain's hands, and I think you'll see that in the second half.
Okay. What do you think Luis de la Fuente will be saying, especially when it comes to that idea that Stephen and I were just talking about, the idea that there will have been a feeling of invincibility almost about this Spain team, and how conceding that goal could shake them?
It's a reality check. I mean, it was they were all talking about why we got here. So it was a team effort, and with a team that pressures the most, and with the most effective at it, and a lot of things that justified that. But of course, you're going to concede goals. It's not so much that it's why haven't we score more, because we are the team that shoots on goal more of the whole World Cup. So unless you improve on that, an accident can happen. This at the moment, in my eyes, is an accident. So I imagine De La Fuente will want everybody to focus on that last decision. You've got a little bit of a space. Make sure that you take the right pass at the right weight. Lamine, I think, is now getting to his best version. He wants the ball. He wants to do things with it, and that's good news for Spain as well. But try to do what Belgium have done for another 45 minutes, and I insist, and this is going to come back to haunt me, but I think it will just benefit Spain.
Right, we'll see. Thank you for the time being, team. Guillaume Balaguer, Stephen Warnock, Vicky Sparks, all inside the stadium in Los Angeles. Half-time, Spain 1, Belgium 1. Second half commentary obviously on the way. Between now and then, we'll be inside the England camp to hear from Ezri Konsa. We'll take you back to Wimbledon as well, all after the news with Richard Foster.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The voice of the UK and the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Thanks, Steve. Good evening. A 26-year-old white British man has been arrested over the murder of Anne Widdecombe. The 78-year-old former MP was found dead at her home on Dartmoor yesterday morning with serious injuries. Assistant Chief Constable Matt Longman is from Devon and Cornwall Police.
Detectives from the Force Major Crime Investigation Team have launched a murder investigation and are conducting extensive inquiries into the circumstances surrounding Miss Widdecombe's death. While we work closely with our partners and have consulted counter-terrorism policing as part of our initial inquiries, the incident is not being treated as terrorism. This is an extremely tragic incident. Our thoughts are very much with the family and friends of Miss Widdecombe.
The Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, has urged people in the area to help the police with their investigation. And the Conservative leader, Kemi Badenoch, says she's stunned by what happened.
Anne Widdecombe was 78 years old. She was a fun and very feisty person, but she was an elderly person. I don't understand how someone could do something like this. I'm just heartbroken thinking about her family. It's one thing when an elderly person dies, but to know that they were killed, I can't imagine what they must be going through.
Other stories this evening, and a man's going to be charged with the murders of his wife and 2 daughters in Bedford. Schumer Zandiel Schumer, who's 42, was arrested in Johannesburg after leaving the UK last Saturday. Ntabo Zandiel Schumer and daughters Natalie and Nala were found dead at the family home near Bedford on Monday. Authorities in southern Spain are working round the clock to identify the bodies of 12 people who've died in wildfires in the Almería region. The victims are thought to include at least 4 people from Britain. 23 are still missing. Our correspondent Nick Beak has more.
In the past hour, there have been fire crews up in the air in planes dumping huge amounts of water on the hillside. And actually, there's another helicopter just there. And this represents the battle that they're up against. The problem is that it is bone dry here. It's extremely hot. And the wind means that these flames can just leap from one side of the hillside to another without any warning whatsoever.
Prince Harry and Meghan have visited the King and Queen with their children Archie and Lilibet for the first time in 4 years. The family gathered at Highgrove House this afternoon. Here's our royal correspondent, Noor Nanji.
The last time that the King saw his grandchildren was more than 4 years ago, back in 2022. So from a personal perspective, you can see why this is really important. You know, Prince Harry has spoken about his desire for a reconciliation with his family. Of course, we know that relations there have been strained ever since Prince Harry and Meghan moved to the US and stopped being working royals.
And a passenger on a Ryanair flight's almost been sucked out of a plane window after it dislodged shortly after takeoff. Serbia man was left hanging head first out of the cabin for several minutes before passengers managed to drag him back inside. The plane landed safely.
So much sport today and all the goals as they go in.
This is 5 Live Sport.
It's all ice to the lights and foot to the floor. Goals to folks, edge, turn court.
And McElroy steps up and taps in that little tiddler of a putt.
He says to the centre. That'll do it.
What a ball. That is a beautiful ball.
Oh, we're right hand. And before the champion is down.
With this extraordinary stuff. They put on a show for us tonight.
5 Live Sport.
Hear the world's greatest sporting events right here.
There is the full-time whistle.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is 5 Live Sport.
At the FIFA World Cup 2026.
With Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
It's one apiece between Belgium and Spain in their World Cup quarter-final. Second half commentary from Los Angeles on the way shortly. Before then, we're going to hear from Ezri Konsa inside the England camp. First, bit more reflection on semi-finals day for the men at Wimbledon. Arthur Ferry's epic run came to an end. He was beaten by Alexander Zverev in straight sets. Defending champion Yannick Sinner knocked out Novak Djokovic also in straight sets. So let's hear from Gigi Salmon with more reaction to the day's play.
So we have the lineup for this year's Wimbledon men's singles final. It will be a 15th meeting between the world number 1 and defending champion Jannik Sinner against the second seed and the man who will be world number 2 when the new rankings come out on Monday, and first-time Wimbledon finalist Sasha Zverev. Very happy to say that alongside me here on centre court, where play has ended for the day, Great Britain's Davis Cup captain Leon Smith, Naomi Cavaday. Shall we start? Let's go in order of the semi-finals, and we're going to start with the first one, which was Sasha Zverev against Arthur Ferry. Now, ultimately, Leon, it was a straightforward win for Sasha Zverev, as people would have maybe expected it to be, 7-6, 6-2, 6-4. But let's start with Arthur Ferry and what a stunning couple of weeks he's had.
It's been absolutely amazing to follow it, to see how he's risen to the occasion. You know, he's taken a wild card, and a wild card, they're underdogs. And he's gone through to the semi-finals. It's completely changed his career right now. It's changed his trajectory of where he's been. Came in at 114 in the world and is going to leave at 36 in the world, and on the edge of being seeded at slams, which is, it's nuts.
Let's hear from Arthur Ferry, this speaking after his semi-final exit at the hands of Sasha Zverev. He was talking to correspondent Russell Fuller.
Arthur, well done on an amazing couple of weeks. How are you feeling after that semi-final?
Thanks, yeah. A little bit disappointed, obviously, still a loss, and difficult to digest, and thought there were a lot of things I could have done better, but yeah, I mean, it's might have been a step too high up today. Played a great opponent. I thought Alex played really well, but overall, really positive 2 weeks for me.
Have you got any concept of really what you've achieved over the past 10 days?
Yeah, it's tough to really process it all and give a good judgment on it right now, but obviously, yeah, semi-finalist of Wimbledon. It sometimes would hit me during the day, beforehand. So yeah, it's obviously an unbelievable achievement. I'm really proud of it. A lot of matches, a long 10 days, 2 weeks, but yeah, really happy with it. I'm conscious that not many people can say they're a slam semi-finalist.
I think it was interesting, and Marion Bartley made the point. She compared him to Lois Boisson in a sense it sort of came from nowhere. She reached the semi-final a couple of years ago of French Open, and then, as Leon was saying, he's got access everywhere with his ranking. But she said, you've got to be so careful now with the scheduling and not just maybe play every single tournament that's possible.
Yeah, I've always felt that almost the better you are, the better the talent, the bigger the moment, and particularly this sort of occasion that has happened over these past couple of weeks for him, the more careful you've got to be. It is so tempting to just see a tournament and want to play it and want to go. The body's not used to it. It's a totally different life. We're talking about Masters events, which are they're over 12 days. So if you're going to be going deep in Masters, all of the top players, including Sinner and Alcaraz, they feel the strain of that as well. So he needs to be careful, but he also does not want to end up in a situation, if he can help it, and it seems like he is a good enough player to help it, that he comes back last year with all of those points to defend and would be looking at a ranking back at 100 this time next year. So players like to try and break down the amount of points they've picked up and try and say, right, over the next 6 months, we'll try and get those points again over the next 8 tournaments, 10 tournaments, whatever it might be, so that by the time you come back around, unlike Lois Boisson, because she had so many injuries through the year, she couldn't use her ranking at all. She barely played, came back to the French Open, totally undercooked, and then lost all the points and is way back down again. So that will be key for Ferry. He's got to stay fit and healthy, stay on the court, try and pick up a big chunk of those points between now and the end of the year, and then that will at least take the pressure off him next year.
Naomi Cavaday at the end there with Leon Smith and Gigi Salmon. More on Wimbledon Daily on BBC Sounds. The team are back tomorrow for midday build-up and then commentary on the women's singles final. All-Czech final, Linda Noskova against Karolina Mukova. Back to the football, England-Norway in the World Cup quarter-final. Tomorrow night, full commentary on 5 Live. England having a right-back nightmare. Reece James has been injured. Jarell Kwanzaa was sent off after 54 minutes against Mexico. So Ezri Konsa filled in. He's been telling Kelly Summers how difficult that was.
It was tough, with the heat and everything, and having to change positions, going to right wing back with a man down. It's not easy because you have to tuck in, and then when the ball gets switched, you've got to run out and try and stop crosses. And I think the first 10 minutes was mentally was tough because I was feeling it a little bit, but I had to find a switch and overcome it. And, credit to John Stones, who kept pushing me, encouraging me. He even asked to swap positions, but, I told him, no, don't worry, it's fine. So, yeah, I had to find a switch, and thankfully I managed to find it just in time. I'll always play wherever the manager wants me to play. As long as I'm on that pitch and helping the team, I'm happy, no matter where I'm playing.
Ezri Konsa. Right, let's go back to Los Angeles. Second half commentary on the way of Belgium 1, Spain 1. Who would you play at right back for England tomorrow, Stephen?
Ezri Konsa.
Yeah, it's going to be, isn't it?
I hope it is. I mean, listen, it's a different dynamic in the way that you have to play. You spoke about it there briefly, about the differences of closing players down, but I just think he brings you a natural balance. I think you've got John Stones, who knows Erling Haaland, knows how to play him. I think that psychological battle will come into play again. And I think, listen, John Stones for me is an exceptional defender. I think he's obviously being managed throughout this tournament, but Konsa's the one who looks very comfortable in that right back berth.
All right, time for second half commentary then. Guillaume was saying earlier that Belgium have got a lot to deal with. Sometimes it's not about how hard you hit, though, is it? It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, Vicky.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Steve. Yes, welcome back to SoFi Stadium. The players are out, ready for the second half. It will be Spain to get us underway in their red shirts with the dark sleeves, the dark blue shorts and the dark blue socks. Belgium in their change strip of the light blue with the pink bubbles on the shirts, the white shorts and the white socks. Stephen Warnock, how much is this second half about mentality? How much is it about tactics? How much is it about a moment of brilliance or a mistake?
Well, a lot of it will be about fatigue as well, with the heat of the stadium. It's really warm in here, but also as well towards the end of a tournament, players will start to get fatigued a little bit earlier, and it's about then the mentality of mind over matter, and I think that's a huge thing within the second half for both teams.
So the countdown, 3, 2, 1, here we go in Los Angeles for the second half of this quarter-final. 1-1 between Spain and Belgium. No changes for either side at half-time, so we'll take you through the lineups in a moment. But as Stephen says, it is sweltering here. We're set to hit 30 degrees in Los Angeles today. We're just past 1 p.m. local time.
This is a breeze. This is easy. I've been sat in hotter than this.
That is true. But up here in the fifth tier, where we're right next to this roof, it keeps all the hot air in, and as the ball is worked all the way back to Unai Simon, I've actually gone double fans for the second half, so we've got one in front of us and then one behind us, so we're getting the cool breeze.
I've noticed the one in front of us is pointed at you, so it's not us, it's you. No, it's okay, but I'm fine.
So, Spain in possession on the halfway line. Played forward, Trossard looking to intercept there ahead of Cucurella, and Cucurella is deemed to have bundled Trossard over, and as Stephen Warnock says...
Oh, he is angry because he just thinks it's a shoulder-to-shoulder with Trossard, and it's ever so slightly in his back, but I think that Michael Oliver has just been a little bit easy to give that.
And given it, he has, though. As De Ketelaere has it down the right-hand side, taking on Cucurella, and then poor touch from De Ketelaere. Sees the ball spin straight out of play for a Spain goal kick. So Spain with Simon in goal, the back four, Oporo, Kubasi, Laporte and Cucurella. Ahead of them, Rodri and Fabian Ruiz, who was their only change from the last 16 last gasp win over Portugal, in for Pedri, and Ruiz it is who scored Spain's opener as Dani Olmo wins a free kick midway through his own half. Dani Olmo is in the team, as you can guess. Lamine Yamal and Biner making up that midfield three behind Oyarzabal up toppers. Spain give it away, and here comes Doku approaching the penalty area, plays it through, little ricochet, won't quite take it through to Trossard. Really good goalkeeping by Unai Simon. I think it was looking for De Ketelaere, then there was the ricochet. Trossard was alive to the possibility, but Simon responded so well.
Yeah, had to be off his line quickly, and he's so aware and quick, Simon. He's brilliant with his feet, but he's also a top goalkeeper. But there's just a warning sign that Belgium will find gaps. They'll try that little ball over the top when Spain are pressing high.
But he has conceded for the first time at this World Cup, Unai Simon, thanks to De Ketelaere's stooping header Belgium's only real chance of the first half, but they took it. It was beautifully worked. As Spain looked to work something here, and they could be in. It's a really good save by Thibaut Courtois from Lamine Yamal, and as Stephen Warnock waves the imaginary offside flag next to me, the assistant on that far side does exactly the same thing. So Courtois will prepare to take this free kick inside. Actually, it will be outside the penalty area because that's where Lamine Yamal started his run from. So Courtois in goal for Belgium, the back four of Castagna, Ngoy, Makele and De Kuyper. Ahead of them, Van Aken, who replaced Yuri Tielemans, the captain, in the starting lineup after the Aston Villa man pulled out injured in the warm-up in a huge blow for Belgium before kick-off. He is partnered by Rascan of Rangers in the centre, and then Doku, De Bruyne and Trossard supporting De Ketelaere, who got that equaliser in the first half up top as the ball goes out of play for a Belgium throw over on the far side. And Stephen, you have to wonder at what point will we see Romelu Lukaku, super sub. He scored in his last 3 appearances for Belgium. If he scores again, he'll become the first Belgium, in fact, to score in 4 World Cup games running. It's not a role that really he's used to, but he's had a terrible season with injury. Again, I said before this game, it would be self-destructive to start every match. He has accepted this role, primarily as a substitute, as Belgium play the ball out of play, and Cucurella prepares to take this throw just inside his own half on the near side. But he certainly has grown into it and scored some huge goals for Belgium at this tournament, and it is such a potent weapon. Yes, he's their record goal scorer, I mean that's first and foremost, but when you know as a teammate that Spain have it just inside their own half, that you've got a player who is making such an impact from the bench, as many as their subs are, such a boost. As Doku has it for Belgium, who've stolen it from Spain, approaching the penalty area, then goes down. It's going to be a corner. Spain couldn't keep the ball in play. Both players, in fact, were appealing for the foul. One of them was Laporte, the other was Doku, and Michael Oliver said, let's just go with the deflection, it's a corner.
Yeah, I thought it was a corner anyway, so just get on with it. Like you say, both players tangling together. That's an opportunity for De Bruyne to put real quality into the penalty area. It's going to be an outswinging corner, so the players won't be able to crowd round Unai Simon.
Well, they've already scored from one delivery into the box, Belgium. That was open play. Header from De Ketelaere. As De Bruyne sent it in, it's another good delivery, but the whistle's gone. Spain had a player down. They did clear the ball away out of the box anyway, and it's going to be a free kick to Spain inside their own penalty area. Incidentally, that goal that De Ketelaere scored in the first half from open play, that is the first goal that Spain have conceded from open play in a World Cup knockout match since 2006. I mean, to be fair, they have at times struggled since 2010 in knockout games. In fact, at this tournament, it is the first time when they beat Austria in the last 32 that they've won a knockout game since winning the trophy in 2010. But still, it's a remarkable statistic.
It's incredible.
And here they come, Spain, down the right-hand side. Pedro Porro getting forward, well covered by Nathan Ngoy. And the ball goes out of play for a Spain throw. 1-1, 6 minutes gone in the second half, as the ball is sent across the field by Lamine Yamal and now picked up by Oyarzabal. And now Cucurella. Baina hugging this left-hand touchline, picks it up for Spain. Ball back in field to Fabian Ruiz, and now to Rodri, the captain. Squares it and finds Porro. Now picked up on the far side by Lamine Yamal once again, cutting inside, edge of the box now, no room for the shot, so lays it off to Rodri, who feeds Cucurella, left-hand side of the penalty area, but Spain are being well marshalled here by Belgium. They send it all the way back to Laporte, who gets forward from centre-half, midway through the Belgium half. In field now from Castagna, picked up by Baina, who's come into a central position, and now Kabasi, the young centre-half, getting forward. Spain really squeezing Belgium back here, as Lamine Yamal picks it up. Cucurella will leave it. Comes to the edge of the area, a little miscommunication, but Cucurella will pick it up again, trying to work his room for the shot, and instead Lamine Yamal took it off his toes, swiped it goalwards, got a deflection. Spain corner on the far side, 1-1.
Yeah, they're getting numbers out to the ball. Belgium closing down really well. Raskin quickly out. Ngoy again on top of the ball, making sure that they're not allowing these Spanish players to get free hits at goal. It was Yamal who hit the shot and deflected wide for another corner.
And they've taken it short. Belgium having to stay switched on as the ball is into the area. It comes out to Dani Olmo, who volleys over and almost took out one of the stewards there, but it bounces off that blue FIFA World Cup 2026 branding and harmlessly behind for a Belgium goal kick, 1-1.
Yeah, just Ngoy again, making sure that he's in the face of Dani Olmo, making sure he's closing him down as he's trying to get that shot on the edge of the area. And that's the impressive thing about this Belgium team, the way that they've worked as a collected unit.
Long forward from Thibaut Courtois, looking for Doku. It's well defended by Pedro Porro, who did really well to take that away on the stretch from two Belgian players and spread it out to the left-hand side. It's picked up now by Fabian Ruiz. Cuts in field, 35 yards from goal. Lays it off to Rodri, central position still, and now out to the left, and Cucurella, who played the ball in, and he just couldn't find that toe of Fabian Ruiz to control it on the stretch, and the ball rolls all the way through to Thibaut Courtois, 1-1.
I'm not so sure it needed to be fizzed in as quickly as he hit it there, Cucurella. Ruiz have picked up a lovely position in the penalty area, no one around him, just had to feather the ball in, nice and soft into him.
Ball forward from Castagna, who spreads his hands in frustration because Vanaken was nowhere near where he expected him to be. And Spain will come forward once again. Midfield to Biner, but he's given it away. And here's Trossard, who's done well to hold play up. Belgium still pressed hard inside their own half as they work it back to Michele, who takes a touch and sends it out to the left-hand side into Kuiper, who looks to release Doku, and again really fizzed it into Doku, who's done well to just about keep that in after a bit of a miscontrol, but it was a really fizzed pass that didn't really help him out. Belgium have it just inside their own half.
I think he wanted him to go long. I think he's saying, go in the space, just don't come short for the ball, just run in behind, Porro won't get anywhere near you.
It was Castagna on the halfway line for Belgium. 1-1 here on 5 Live, the World Service and BBC Sounds in this quarter-final, the second of 4, England against Norway, coming up tomorrow, 10 o'clock UK time. Do join us for that. As Jeremy Doku picks it up, left-hand side, Belgium have got bodies in the area, lovely little layup to Brunner. Doku comes out and side netting from Maxime de Kuiper. That was beautifully worked again from Belgium. That time they couldn't find the back of the net, but I tell you what, if Spain put that move together at the other end, we all say, oh, typical Spain. That was lovely from Belgium.
Yeah, it was beautiful between De Bruyne and Doku. I wondered whether Doku had just drifted into an offside position, but he wasn't. It was Laporte who was playing him on. Had the ball found the back of the net, the goal would have been given. De Kuiper maybe should have just tried to go across goal rather than going near post.
So we've got a double change for Spain here. Biner and Ruiz, the goal scorer, have come off. And Ferran Torres and Pedri, the man who Fabian Ruiz replaced in the starting lineup, have come on. So Luis de la Fuente has seen enough in this second half. And Spain look to retake the lead, and as Belgium just show they've got real danger about them. They're showing it few and far between because Spain, as you'd expect, dominating possession. Belgium putting together some really incisive moves, and that's exactly what Spain are looking to do here. Pedri on the attack immediately, but Belgium make the interception and it's picked up by Kubasi.
Yeah, they might be dominating possession, Spain, but they're not really creating anything of real note, where Belgium are really struggling to deal with the situation, whereas at the other end of the pitch, Spain are actually finding it difficult when Doku gets the ball in wide areas to deal with his directness.
Will the two Barcelona substitutes be able to help change that? Here is Cucurella in field now to Dani Olmo. Lays it off to Rodri. Picked up now by Pedri, one of those changes. Works it out to the right-hand side, and Pedro Porro. Here's Lamine Yamal. Has the option to try and go one way then the other, and that's exactly what he does, and finds Pedri once more, and worked out to Pedro Porro, who's ball in. Well, the less said about that, the better.
They created a little opening for Pedro Porro, and I'm not so sure why he decided to take a touch. I think he could have just fed that in first time when given the ball. Wasteful opportunity.
So Belgium in possession. They are preparing changes as well. We just got a very quick glimpse of them on our monitor. I think one of them may well be Romelu Lukaku. Trying to lean forward here, but definitely can't see the technical areas. Although actually, if I lean forward enough, I can see Rudi Garcia, the Belgian manager, applauding his team as Spain have possession on the halfway line. He actually has 3 grandparents from Spain. Rudi Garcia, the Belgian boss, so has his own connections with the country, but he is attempting to dump out of the World Cup, with France awaiting the winner in the semi-finals. It's 1-1, 57 minutes gone in this game, as Lamine Yamal picks it up, right-hand side, still outside the penalty area, delivery in, punched away by Courtois. Trossard will help it on out of the area, picked up by the head of Rodri. And he'll bring it out on this left-hand side. But again, and what do we make of Courtois so far when he's dealing with those balls into the area?
I thought he did that really well, because I think if he doesn't, Oyarzabal has got a simple tap in at the back post. I thought Castagna had lost his man, and Courtois read the flight of the ball perfectly well.
Spain in possession with Laporte, arguably with an error for the first goal. Thibaut Courtois, as the huge cockroach flies past us again, but it's not near enough for you to get a shot in on it, Stephen Warnock, unlike Dion Dublin did.
He has got bigger arms than me. He's a bigger guy, isn't he?
Spain in possession. Here goes Pedri approaching the penalty area, out to Lamine Yamal, well intercepted by Doku. And Doku will bring it forward now, and then was he bundled over there? Yes, he was, by Lamine Yamal, and that's going to be a free kick to Belgium, just inside their own half. 1-1 here on 5 Live, the World Service, and BBC Sound. Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, great reaction from Yamal, gives the ball away, realises who he's given the ball away to. Doku picking up pace, and Yamal, tactical foul, just shoves him in the back, takes him to ground. Good decision.
So here come these Belgium changes, and it is Romelu Lukaku, and very interestingly, it's also going to be Axel Witsel. Now, a huge player for Belgium. We'll tell you more about that in a moment, because Belgium are playing on at the moment. Those subs are going to be made, but this is going to be Witsel's 140th cap. He's 37 years old. He's been a huge player for them during his career, but now coming to the end of his career, cleared away by Unai Simon for Spain, as Belgium send it forward once again. Here's Dani Olmo, chests it down midway through his own half, but this is because Tielemans is out injured, and so is Onana, so Witsel is one of the options that they can bring on in central midfield, but it's an interesting one, and we'll see how they reshuffle. Lukaku, of course, needs no introduction, and will be looking to score for the 4th game running, as he relishes this super sub role, as Laporte plays it in field. A chop ball is going to come to Marc Cucurella. He steers it in. It's cleared away by Nathan Ngoy. Spain are really pressing here and putting Belgium under pressure.
Yeah, they are and they're not. It feels a lot of side to side, a little bit of rotating of the play, making sure that they keep it alive. But again, Ngoy very comfortable there, defending the cross that came into the box. It's not really been cutting through this Belgium team at the moment.
So here are the changes. Trossard is one of the players coming off. Now, there was a little question over his fitness ahead of the USA game. He started this match. He's been completely anonymous, really, hasn't he, Stephen?
Yeah, I think a lot of his work has been off the ball and making sure that he tucks in, helps out his team. I think he's relieved pressure at times, but in a way, he'll be disappointed to leave the pitch.
So it's actually going to be a triple change here for Belgium. Witsel, Lukaku, and this is interesting, Joachim Seyss also coming on, 21 years old. This is his major tournament debut. It's only his 6th cap. He made his debut back in October for Belgium against North Macedonia, so he's on for De Kuyper. And Van Aken has gone off as well. So Van Aken, De Kuyper and Trossard off as Spain come forward. Shot driven in, beaten away by Courtois. Got really good distance on that big punch out of the penalty area. So yes, Seyss, Lukaku and Witsel on. Tell you what, Rudy Garcia here has made some big calls. It's going to be fascinating to see how these play out.
Yeah, it will, especially in that left-back position, going up against Lamine Yamal. I wonder why he thought De Kuyper had to come off the pitch as Spain come forward.
And Ferran Torres can't quite latch onto that ball from Dani Olmo. It's another lovely turn from Dani Olmo, and Doku did a good turn there himself. Those are the oohs that you could hear from the crowd here. And he's played the ball forward in Belgium, and coming down the left, Lukaku's in the centre. The ball's looking for him. Spain panicking, just about get the ball away. Stevens appealing for handball, but Spain eventually have defending to do as Simon smothers. The shot in the end was saved from De Bruyne by Simon. Belgium then appealed for a handball, where they're going to have a look at this VAR. Oh, it's headed by Laporte onto the arm of Rodri, who's in the air. Spain in possession on the halfway line. VAR will be checking. What do we think, Stephen?
Yeah, there's nowhere Rodri can go. It's just a freak sort of coincidence of where his body is and where it hits. The Spanish press next, the Belgian press next to us, they think it's a clear penalty.
Here comes Spain down the right-hand side, teasing ball in, and Courtois smothers at his near post from Oyarzabal after he was found by Lamine Yamal, who waves his arm to the 18-year-old, to the Spanish fans behind the goal. They've got a corner on the far side, Spain, and I think they're going to be allowed to take it, which means that VAR are happy and they've checked that penalty.
Yeah, good decision.
Yeah, I mean, it was very close range. The question always is the arm in a natural position? And VAR agree with Michael Oliver that it was for that jump from Rodri as Spain work the corner to Pedro Porro, central position, gets it back from Dani Olmo. He's 25 yards out, Porro. Now works it to the left-hand side, and Ferran Torres approaching the penalty area. He's done really well, Ferran Torres, then just leaves it behind for Pedri as Belgium try and clear. It's picked up once more by Spain on the left-hand side. And they will work it all the way back to the halfway line as we approach the midway point of this second half. It is still Spain 1, Belgium 1 in this fascinating quarter-final as Lamine Yamal picks it up. He's up against Doku, pulls it to the edge of the area. Torres, Lamine Yamal just couldn't get the ball out from under his feet, and Belgium will clear, and they're looking for the run of Lukaku, but Spain make the interception, and lovely control again by Dani Olmo, who was then just clipped there, and it's going to be a free kick to Spain, a third of the way inside the Belgium half. 1-1. Spain have taken the free kick quickly, too quickly, says Michael Oliver, and they'll have to do it again.
Well, how often do we say when substitutes come onto the pitch that it slows the game down, it changes it? Well, this hasn't. This has brought a new lease of life into this second half, and the changes that Belgium have made have made an impact straight away. They're starting to stretch the pitch a little bit more. Lukaku now playing on the shoulder, De Ketelaere playing out on this right hand side down below us.
And here they come again, Spain. Down the right-hand side, Belgium trying to put the pressure on. And that is really, really good defending at the back there by Joachim Seys, and he's getting a round of applause from Timothy Castagne as well. What a huge moment this is for him. He plays for Club Brugge, the Belgium champions. As we say, he's 21 years old, the fullback. But to be given your major tournament debut in the quarterfinals of a World Cup from the bench against the reigning champions Spain, I mean, that is a big vote of confidence by Rudy Garcia as Spain work it all the way back to Unai Simon.
He's in the squad, so he should be capable of coming onto the pitch. No matter who goes into that squad, in any squad in the World Cup, they should be trusted, otherwise they shouldn't be picked.
Spain in possession just inside their own half. I guess it's the case of, do you almost want like a few minutes in, a game that's already gone at some point when they were winning against New Zealand perhaps, just to settle in, so it's not your debut at this point, or do you just say, right, this is why I'm here and I'm going to rise to the occasion? That's certainly what Seys will be hoping. Spain come forward, they're dominating possession at the moment. 1-1 with Belgium, flick through, Torres, edge of the D, and Goy went lunging in. Torres still has it, works it out to the right hand side, and Lamine Yamal, who can't wriggle his way past Nathan and Goy. And Jeremy Doku will pick it up, but he's been dispossessed. He wants a free kick, and he's got it, and the whistle went from Michael Oliver, and you can hear the reaction around SoFi Stadium.
Pedro Porro there just saying, Michael, really? Oh no, he's bought that. He's absolutely bought that, Jeremy Doku. Well, Michael Oliver's fell for it, and he's a lucky boy there, Doku, because he lost the ball right on the edge of the penalty area, and Spain would have been in at them.
Right, this is interesting. Thibaut Courtois has gone down, and this is where players are not allowed to go over to the referee. Go over to their technical area, so the fourth official and the assistants are immediately away. But look, they are having conversations here with Belgium's technical staff. Now, this is something that FIFA basically were saying that they weren't going to allow. So, interesting this. Although, hang on a minute, are we also hitting the drinks break? Yes, maybe, Michael Oliver. I think so, because all the players are coming over. So that's a little bit of common sense maybe from Michael Oliver, saying, all right, let's just forget the goalkeeping situation, let's just have the hydration break, and then we don't have to worry about telling everybody to go away.
We haven't had much of that in the World Cup, I'll be completely honest, Vic, where we've had common sense. Because there's been a few cases of that where the referees could have just gone, do you know what, let's go to a water break or a hydration break, let's just deal with that situation now.
And Courtois up in 30 seconds because he wants his hydration break as well. So he now is going to come over. I mean, do you know what? That could almost have been a tactic to force the hydration break. I mean, that's the other way of thinking about it.
Yeah, quite possibly, but they had a free kick anyway, didn't they? So it wasn't necessarily that they were in a bad position.
That's true, but if they want to get the little conversation, which is now going on as we remain finely poised, heading into the final period of this game. Let's bring in our Spanish football expert, Guillem Balaguer. Still feeling as confident as you have been, Guillem?
It is intriguing, no doubt about it. The substitutions has come earlier than usual. I think De La Fuente wanted somebody to move the ball faster than Fabian was doing, and Pedri has started doing that. Somebody that can break the lights of pressure with a bit of driving of the ball, not just passing around. and he has been doing that. Olmo is growing next to him and still finding those little gaps of a space. And with Ferran, his fresh legs, runs in behind, and the capability of scoring as well. And on the back of it, Belgium feel that they can attack us. So go for it, Belgium. Come on, attack. Because that obviously opens things up a little bit. But not enough accuracy in the last decision. Lamine is trying in all ways. And he may be the one in breaking the deadlock. But they need to be more efficient up front, Spain.
And from a Belgian perspective, Stephen, we've not yet quite seen what Romelu Lukaku can do. He's off the bench. He had that one delivery in that Spain managed to clear away. But again, getting into the mind of an opponent, when you know that somebody like Lukaku is kept coming off the bench and playing so well, and it's just generally this has really worked for Belgium in terms of the impact that their substitutes have had. It's been so key going into these games in the group stages and the knockout stages as well. Coming into the quarterfinals, Belgium in terms of direct goal involvement had more from subs than anybody else in the tournament, so that they know, Belgium, that when they bring the players on, it can make a huge difference.
Oh, 100%, and there'll be a fear element from Spain now that they know Lukaku's on the pitch, and they'll be thinking if Doku gets in a 1v1 situation and can find a ball into the penalty area, then they know they've got a killer in the box who will find the back of the net given that opportunity. So it's a huge psychological shift for Belgium to have, and to spam for Spain to defend against as well.
And they already have the psychological boost as well of being the first team to score against Spain at this tournament. He was asked about that defensive record for the Spanish coming into this game in his press conference here yesterday, Rudy Garcia, on Spain not conceding yet at the World Cup. Statistics are made to be shaken, he said, and how they would shake up this World Cup if they could knock out Spain, the reigning European champions, as Doku is penalised over on the far side, and Spain will have a free kick outside their own penalty area. Because no two ways about it, Spain, who've been building momentum throughout this tournament after that opening draw with Cape Verde, are and were certainly favourites coming into this game. But again, Belgium, who were moments away from going out against Senegal, who then had all the controversy of the Balogun red card suspension ahead of their tie with the co-hosts in the last 16, the USA.
I think the other thing to touch on is obviously Doku's causing problems, but you've got Luca Bacchio on the bench who's so quick, so direct. He's going to come on at some point and be fresh.
That was pretty direct from Spain, finding Cucurella on this left-hand side, plays it in field to Pedri. And now central to Rodri, 30 yards out, dink ball in, looking for Cucurella, heads it back across, what a chance! Ferran Torres, 12 yards out, flags up on the far side, header sails over the bar. Other than being offside, beautifully worked by Spain.
Yeah, I mean, the run from Cucurella in behind and picked out by Rodri, he just strays ever so slightly offside. Ferran Torres will be disappointed that he didn't hit the target, even if he didn't know. This is big, this is huge.
I tell you what, we talked about Courtois going down, that was no tactic. He is injured and he cannot continue, and on comes Senna Loormans for Belgium, the Manchester United #1 for his major tournament debut. I mean, can anything else happen for Belgium in this tournament?
Well, the good thing is that they've got a good goalkeeper to come on. You don't want to lose arguably the best goalkeeper in world football, but you want someone who's dependable, and we've seen from his form at Manchester United how dependable he is. So I think they're quite fortunate that they've got an outstanding #2.
Only made his Belgium debut in November. This is his third cap. What a huge moment for the Manchester United #1, Senna Loormans. And of course, at 1-1 with 19 minutes still to play, I mean, I would never normally mention penalties this early, but it could go to that, Stephen.
Well, it quite possibly could, yeah, so he's got to be prepared for that mentally.
So Spain give the ball away. Early touch for Loormans as Ngoy sweeps it back to him. I have to say, I didn't see when Courtois picked up any injury. The first we knew of it was when he went down just before the hydration break, and we thought, well, is this tactical and just to get to the hydration break? He wasn't substituted at the end of that, so clearly has tried to continue, but I can't think of too many incidents in the game where he might have picked something up.
No, he held his hamstring and he signalled to Michael Oliver it was a hamstring injury when he did it, and I thought, well, is that just playing for cramp? Is it just making sure that, like you said, Vic, just trying to slow the game down a little bit? But obviously not, so that's it's a big loss, but Listen, they've got Lomans in goal. He's an outstanding goalkeeper as well.
So they lost their captain to injury in the warm-up as Ferran Torres comes forward for Spain. Now they've lost their number one goalkeeper. Belgium up against it, but 1-1 with the reigning European champions as Lamine Yamal plays the ball. Well, he was trying to play it into the penalty area and he actually played it right behind the goal and it goes out of play for a Belgium goal kick. Spain 1, Belgium 1, here on 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the World Service.
Oh, look at Cezanne, he's come on left back and he's dealt with Yamal so well. He said to Yamal, one thing I'm not going to let you do is I'm not letting you come inside on your left foot and you're going to get shots away. He's shown him down the line as much as he can onto his weaker foot and it's worked so well. It worked well so far, sorry.
Here comes Cucurella for Spain, just inside his own half, gets it back from Pedri and out to the left-hand side once again. Picked up now by Laporte again. Spain are dominating possession as Pedri plays a lovely ball forward looking for Dani Olmo who feeds Oyarzabal, can't quite get the ball out from under his feet. Torres can't latch onto it and Cucurella has it again. It was lovely movement from Spain, but Oyarzabal scored 4 goals at this World Cup but hasn't really managed to latch onto the ball in those key areas as Pedro Porro feeds it to Torres. Oh, he left it there brilliantly, Ferran Torres, and Belgium just about sweep the ball away as Spain go for the 1-2. They're playing some good stuff, Spain. In some ways it feels like a matter of time, but on the break Belgium is still so dangerous. Here they come once more, Spain. Just outside the penalty area, it's Dani Olmo, edge of the D, trying to unlock this Belgian back line as Lamine Yamal swipes a shot in. It's cleared away by Nico Raskan, and Lukaku will put the pressure on the 19-year-old Kubasi. He deals with it well, and here's Rodri now, outside the centre circle. Spain 1, Belgium 1 in the quarter-final. Nice little flick by Ferran Torres, but Oyarzabal had gone the other way, and Belgium should be able to play it around their back line. Dinked out by Michele to Timothy Castagna. That was calmly done, and Castagna will lift it forward, looking for Lukaku, but it's over his head.
Yeah, he's got to do better, Lukaku. If you just come onto the pitch and you're such a physical presence, we saw it with the Catalera in the first half, winning headers, winning flick-ons, has to do more to relieve the pressure from the back line.
Here comes Spain once again. It's Oyarzabal, edge of the area, taking on Michele. He's got Dani Olmo in the centre, but finds Lamine Yamal right hand side of the box instead. Now we'll pull it back to Pedro Porro, out to Lamine Yamal once more, dink ball in. They've got the runners in there, it's cleared away by Ngoy, and Axel Witsel on the edge of the area will clear the ball away for Belgium. They wanted a free kick there, but they're not going to get it. Spain on the slide, trying to keep it in. Pedri can't do so. Throw to Belgium, right in front of that Spain technical area. 1-1.
You can't get a kick at the moment, Belgium. They're finding it very difficult to get out the half, but what they are is so well organised. Ngoy and Michele, they're doing superb at the back. They're so well drilled, making sure that they're marshalling everyone in and around them.
As the attendance is announced here inside SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, 70,492, full house, and it is packed as we look around. As you see the red shirts of Spain and of Belgium, again it's hard to pick out who's where. You're kind of looking for the different flags as much as you can as well. As the free kick is won by Spain, just inside their own half. And they'll get things moving quickly. Here's Pedri, edge of the centre circle, lifts the ball out to Lamine Yamal, who's up against Says once more. Stoku comes back to help too, but lovely back heel by Lamine Yamal as Porro pulls it in but can't pick out a teammate. Raskan's there, and Doku will bring it forward for Belgium. He does really well trying to ease past Oyarzabal, who then did recover and managed to stop him, but can't fully stop him, and Doku slides it out to the left-hand side, and here's Raskan. Was he clipped there by Pedro Porro? Yes, he was, says Michael Oliver, and Belgium have a rare free kick inside Spanish territory, third of the way inside the Spain half on the left-hand side. 1-1, 13 and a half minutes to play. Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, they're playing it well, Belgium. They might not be carrying too much of a threat at the moment, but they know they will, and they know they've just got to be patient with that threat.
Here goes Nathan Ngoy into the Belgium half, and now on the right-hand side is Timothy Castagna, picked up by Axel Witsel, who has taken up this defensive midfield position. He does in his later years play at centre-half as well, but he is defensive midfield at the moment for Belgium, who've lost it, and Spain will pick it up. Here's Pedri, outside the centre circle, works it out to the right-hand side, and Lamine Yamal once more plays the ball into the area. It's cleared away by McKellar. Says is there, gets his head on it, but Belgium won't latch onto it, and the pressure at the moment is still relentless from Spain as they work it out to the left-hand side. Here's Cucurella, pulls it back once more to Pedri. He'll square it to his captain Rodri, 30 yards out, central position, and now Pedro Porro advancing towards the area, out to the right-hand side, and Lamine Yamal once again, who goes in field to Pedro Porro. And now Rodri picks it up once more, and Pedri now, all very patient passing from Spain. Can they find the ball to unlock that Belgian back line? It's Lamine Yamal, pulls it back to Pedro Porro once more, and now Yamal again. Says is there, holding him up well, and Says does so well, gets the fit in, and I can tell, Stephen Warnock, that you are enjoying this fullback display from Jerkin Says.
Yeah, because it's patient, and it's showing, using your body, making him go a certain way. Okay, I know you're saying that Spain are dominating and they're piling the pressure on, but for me it's very safe football. It's the passes that everyone can see. It's not really splitting the lines and hurting Belgium at the moment.
This is what they're trying to do now. Oyarzabal, lovely layoff to Yamal, and then Ferran Torres, who couldn't find Yamal with the 1-2.
Ngoy, outstanding, absolutely brilliant from the two centre-halves of Belgium. They have been magnificent, and especially Ngoy. I just think he's been superb. So little 1-2 from Yamal round Says, he follows the ball. Doesn't matter because Ngoy's covered him. He's made sure that he's round and protecting his fullback, and it's exactly what a centre-half should do.
It's going to be a free kick to Belgium over on the far side. Doku was fouled, and Oyarzabal said a couple of moments ago that he hadn't really got into those key positions. 4 goals for Spain in this tournament. He's been replaced by Nico Williams, who hasn't played since he came off injured against Uruguay, so he's missed the entire knockout stages. He's had another really difficult season with injuries for Athletic Bilbao this season, played in a little over half of their games, and said after he came off against Uruguay, one of the worst days of my life, injured again after a very difficult year. But he is back on to try and help Spain find another breakthrough against Belgium. It's 1-1 here on 5 Live, the World Service, and BBC Sounds. 10.5 minutes to play, otherwise got to start thinking about extra time as Spain have it. Rodri, 35 yards out, finds Ped.
Sent it too quickly in the wrong direction.
I must admit, I'm surprised we haven't seen Marino yet. Brilliant goal against Portugal when he came off, showed the initiative with a quick free kick, and then get on the end of it and score the winner, because he's such a goal threat.
Yeah, he can be a 6, an 8, a 9.
Yeah.
Late, there he is, late winning goal.
Halfway line. It's cleared away by Aymeric Laporte and picked up by Kevin De Bruyne for Belgium. And now Castagna plays it in field to Kevin De Bruyne. And the ball is right over the top and goes all the way through to Unai Simon. Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, he's got to see. Oh, we've got another problem now. De Bruyne's just gone down after he's just made that pass, Vicky. And that's a real concern, because we know the light in numbers in that midfield area. I just wonder what happened there to Kevin De Bruyne. It's just cramp. I think that's all it is.
Well, they've got one more change they can make in normal time, Belgium. They would have an additional one in extra time, but as Stephen says, De Bruyne is back up to his feet, but this is it. They are becoming ever lighter on numbers, Belgium. Yuri Tillemans, their captain, pulling out during the warm-up. Of course, Amadou Onana doing his ACL against the USA, so he's not available. And Courtois, their number 1, having to make way during the game for the Manchester United goalkeeper Senna Normans, making his major tournament debut. Here goes Rodri over the halfway line, out to the left-hand side, and Marc Cucurella hugging that left-hand touchline, plays it in field, and it will be picked up by Pedri for Spain. Nice layoff, looking for Nico Williams, trying to find Pedri once again, and they've done really well to play it around that Belgian back line there, Spain, as they go central once more. Rodri, crossfield pass, picked up by Lamine Yamal. His driven effort into the area, nicely controlled by Axel Witsel, and now De Bruyne will find Doku. He's got Raskan as an outlet and looks for him, well covered by Kubasi, and I think Kubasi was caught there by Raskan. Yes, it's going to be a free kick on the halfway line, and Spain have taken it immediately as they come forward once more, still piling the pressure on Belgium, who are still standing firm. 1-1 here on 5 Live, the World Service, and BBC Sounds. 8 minutes to go plus added time in this quarter-final. We're heading to extra time. France await in the semi-finals. As Nico Williams brings it in field, looks for the return ball from Pedri, and Belgium do really well, and it's that man again shepherding it behind, Nathan Ngoy.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant from Ngoy, just making sure that again he marshals that run over the top in behind Timothy Castagna, helps his fullback out. He's covered an awful lot of ground today, but he hasn't been rash in what he's done. It's been calm, it's been calculated, it's been really impressive.
So Senna Norman's about to take this goal kick for Belgium. You might just have heard our TV colleagues Steve Wilson and Danny Murphy break into our commentary there. Always glad to welcome them, but we are having a few technical difficulties in the heat here in LA, so thank you for your patience. A good reminder that you can watch Steve and Danny's commentary over on BBC One right now, and if you'd like to sync it up with the 5 Live commentary, just choose the Listen Live option on the iPlayer. As Spain have the ball outside the centre circle, lovely ball forward, and then a miscontrol by Lamine Yamal just on the edge of the 6-yard box, and Senna Lormans will gather. It is still not happening for the 18-year-old wonder kid in this game.
No, just a heavy touch and a lovely run in behind Says, who switches off for a split second, but then head down, recover, uses his body well to get in between ball and man.
Oh, at the other end, unorthodox clearance by Unai Simon. Oh, Kevin De Bruyne letting fly from just inside his own half, because Simon had come so far to clear that ball away from Romelu Lukaku, and De Bruyne, we know, could have done that, could have achieved it. He went for goal, it was blocked away by Spain right in front of him. It would have been a wonder goal from distance from Kevin De Bruyne, but Unai Simon all of a sudden out of position, and Belgium giving Spain a few jitters again.
Rodri did extremely well, read the situation, knew his goalkeeper was out of position, saw who the ball fell to and thought, absolutely not, can't give him time and space. Good thing is, De Bruyne's back on the move again. It's almost like he's found his second wind and shrugged that cramp off.
Well, he's going to need to find it, because we're heading to extra time. 35-year-old Kevin De Bruyne out to the right-hand side. And Timothy Castagna will pick it up, nicely worked forward, looking for the run of Axel Witsel at 37, making his second appearance of the tournament. And then the foul committed by Kevin De Bruyne on Ferran Torres, and the yellow card is out from Michael Oliver. It's going to be a yellow card for De Bruyne.
I think that could be his last action, you know, Vicky. He's just feeling his hamstring again, and I did look at the TV monitor, and they said they were looking to bring on another player. Ferran Torres wasn't happy, but it was almost as if to say, I'm done, my race is run here, De Bruyne, and it is, as he leaves the field. Someone different now to take over the captain's armband again.
Well, it's going to go to, it looks like Romelu Lukaku, and yes, here is that change. So Alexis Salamakers is on for Belgium. That's their final change of normal time. They'll have one more in extra time. Belgium, who have had to change their goalkeeper, Thibaut Courtois, going off injured in this second half. So Manchester United's Senna Lormans is on. And Spain are making a change as well, and Dani Olmo is coming off. And how about this? Arsenal's Mikel Merino, who came on at a very similar time in the last 16 against Portugal and scored the winner in the 91st minute, is on for Spain. He couldn't do it again, could he?
Oh, he absolutely could, because the time of his runs is brilliant. He just wanders into positions, and unlike many other midfielders, he's got such a calmness when he gets in front of goal. Almost shows an attacker's instinct.
Here comes Spain, down the right-hand side, ball in. Ferran Torres did well on the stretch to control it, picked up, scooped into the area. Merino is in there, it's headed away at the back by Castagna for Belgium, kept alive by Spain. Cucurella finds Nico Williams, pulls it back to Cucurella, left-hand side of the penalty area. Here's Pedri, 30 yards out, now steers it to Rodri. In the centre and out to the right-hand side, Lamine Yamal, that's a beautiful ball. Pedro Porro back to Lamine Yamal, and just tried to chop inside, and he was smothered by a combination of Rascan and Says for Belgium. It's out of play for a Spain throw, but Spain are picking up the tempo once again. Here's Pedri. Central position, slows the play down, then picks the pass out to the left-hand side, and Nico Williams. Belgium really struggling to hold firm here, but it's a poor ball in by Nico Williams, cleared away by Belgium. Lukaku will try and hold it up just inside his own half, but it's well defended, scooped back by Laporte. Kubasi will get there ahead of Lukaku, and it's all the way back with Unai Simon. But just talk about that move from Spain at the other end between Podro and Lamine Yamal.
Yeah, lovely 1 and 2 touch football, but the touch from Lamine Yamal as it was fizzed into him by Rodri, stunned it into a position. But then I actually thought he should have gone down the outside, but he's he's been shown by Says that going down the line, he's not getting any joy.
Here comes Spain with Pedri. Cucurella going down the line this time. Left-hand side. Pulls it back to Pedri once more. 30 yards out. 1-1 between Spain and Belgium. As it's played infield, and Kubasi's going to drive, and Norman spilled it, and the follow-up is in! Spain surely, late on once again, have won it! And it's Belgium's substitute goalkeeper, Senna Normans of Manchester United, on for the injured Thibaut Courtois with the error that surely sees Spain, just as they did against Portugal, win it late on. What drama! Mikel Merino takes the celebrations and roars to the Spain fans in the crowd as Belgium hearts are shattered.
And it's quite incredible, isn't it? His positional sense, his understanding of where to be, where the ball might drop, the instinct that the goalkeeper might spill it. It's Kubasi who steps forward, unopposed, 15, well, probably 25 yards out. He takes the shot. It's a simple shot. Lomans, he doesn't cover himself in any glory. He spills it. He didn't make a mistake for Manchester United last year. Well, he's under a different pressure here. Coming on for Courtois, he spills it. Merino, he's quick, but he's calm. And he just side butts it, lifts it over the goalkeeper, and he scored two of the most important goals he'll ever score in his career in the last two games, in the last moments of games. And he might have just taken his team through to the semi-final of the World Cup.
We said, could he do it again? There is your answer. Arsenal's Mikel Merino, reacting quickest. He broke Portuguese hearts in the last 16. And he may well have broken Belgium hearts in the quarterfinals. And Spain have done it again.
It's incredible because the mentality you have to have is that I could do this again when he steps onto the pitch, but also as well when he knows that he's not playing every game, is I can still have a huge part to play in this team because I know my value and I know what my capabilities are. He'll have walked onto this pitch thinking, I just need one opportunity, I'll take that gamble at times, I'll run into the box, which we know he does so well. And what a moment for him.
And what a moment for Spain, what a moment for Luis de la Fuente. And we said that it was Belgium's substitutes so often in this World Cup that have made such a difference. But this time it's Spain's once again. This time it is Mikel Merino once again. It is barely believable. It is another brilliant story from this World Cup that has been so full of stories, so full of narratives. And here is one that might have just seen Spain through to the semi-finals as we enter 7 minutes of added time as Belgium win a free kick outside the centre circle. Stephen Warnock.
It's incredible, isn't it now? Belgium have to respond, they have to find a way back, they have to get players higher up the pitch, and it might just mean that he has actually wandered up there. Witsel, he's wandered into that centre forward position. He's big, he's tall. I need to throw balls into the box now and test this Spanish defence.
Here goes Doku to Ketelara. Infield to Doku once more, under pressure from Pedro Porro, wants the free kick, it's going to go the other way.
He handballed it. Fell on top of the ball, Doku, he slipped and he couldn't quite take the ball with him, put a hand on it.
So, free kick to Spain, outside their own penalty area as Rudy Garcia, the Belgian manager, takes a big swig from the water bottle down there. Could they have done any more in this game, Belgium, tactically?
Well, to be honest with you, when you talk about substitutions, when you talk about the impact that they have on the game, Lukaku has been detrimental to them. He hasn't added anything in this second half, hasn't held the ball up at all, so they haven't had a focal point to build off. However, there's still time.
They did it late on against Senegal.
Oh, wow.
Could they do it?
Wow.
Oh, Simon's come. He hasn't got there.
Oh, what is he doing?
Clearance away. Lukaku was waiting in the centre, but the cross couldn't find him because of a quite brilliant acrobatic clearance by Aymeric Laporte that actually sailed right into the arms of his goalkeeper Unai Simon. Look, that wasn't intentional at all. Nobody appealed for anything like a back pass, but Unai Simon, rush of blood to the head. What was he doing there?
Oh, absolutely no idea, but what is Salamaker doing? Just take your time. Goalkeeper's out of position. You can either shoot at goal or just draw Spanish players towards you, and Lukaku's got a tap in.
Wasted opportunity for Belgium. Free kick though for Belgium. Doku's gone down midway through the Spain half, and it is going to be a set piece for Belgium. 2.5 minutes gone of added time, but it just gives us a chance again to reflect on what's just happened there over on the far side with Simon.
Yeah, I mean, Simon there, why he's decided to come out and sort of go in a 1v1 situation with Salamakers, and he just drifted by him so comfortably. My heart was in my mouth as I was thinking, is he going to take him down? Is he going to commit a foul? Well, now they've got an opportunity to put delivery into the box.
So Laporte booked for that challenge, swung in by Salamakers. Lukaku is in there, it's cleared away by Spain. Raskan can't keep hold of it, and Spain are countering here, and they could wrap it up. Brilliant clearance by Says to stop Lamine Yamal getting through. It's going to go out for a throw to Spain deep inside their own territory. That would have been that for Belgium.
Yeah, what's Pedri doing? He's better than that, and that's where he has to be better on the ball, has to be able to pick a pass, because they had a 5v3 situation there, Spain.
That would have made it secure, their semi-final progression. Instead, Belgium just about are still alive in this quarter-final. They've given away a free kick though, and Spain see their hero again, Mikel Merino, preparing to retreat as he wins that free kick, and Spain steer it all the way back to Unai Simon, who has had so little to do in this game, but almost gifted Belgium back away into this quarter-final late on, and the ball has been sprayed straight out of play by Simon. I tell you what, Spain have just lost their focus a little bit here.
Yeah, they have. I think it's an element of they know where they are and what they hold, and the potential that you sort of retreat and think it's the best thing to do rather than continue to do what was so good and how you dominated the ball and just keep the ball like they did for large parts of this second half.
It's all they need to do now, but they're not doing it, as Witsel then goes diving in on Rodri, and that is going to be a free kick to Spain, and the yellow card is out for Axel Witsel as Belgium's frustration grows. Well, they faced a lot during this tournament, they faced a lot on this day. Yuri Tillemans, their captain, pulling out of the warm-up injured, and I tell you what, Witsel might be a little bit lucky as we just see that is only a yellow card. You just wonder whether VAR might get involved here, but no, Spain have got things underway once again. Wasn't great, was it? He catches him with his studs on the shin. It's a glancing blow, but it's the height of it, isn't it? And studs up.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't think there's too much wrong with that. I think it is a yellow card, but we know what FIFA are like and UEFA are like, and we know the rules.
Spain have given the ball away again. Belgium have a throw which they've taken quickly. Here's Raskan, ball into the area. Lukaku is in there, headed it down into the ground. Spain hesitating, but eventually will clear. Nathan Ngoy heads it forward. That wasn't the best header, and Spain might be able to come forward now once again. Doku very well challenging Lamar. Again, Michael Oliver didn't get out of the way there, but Belgium still have it. Right hand side, Nico Raskan, ball into the area, and Unai Simon will take, and he's lost it, and the whistle goes, and it's going to be a free kick to Spain. The ball didn't end up in the back of the net anyway, but my word, more hearts in mouth moments for Unai Simon and Spain.
Yeah, I just want to see this one again, because goalkeepers are a protected species. They get looked after so often. It was a brilliant ball into the box by Raskan, and then I just thought it was a coming together between Lukaku. He had every right to go and get the ball. I'm not so sure that's a foul. They're both going into each other's proximity, and that is just a coming together, and Simon's not strong enough to keep hold of the ball.
So Unai Simon places the ball down, prepares to take this free kick as Belgian fans in the crowd have their hands on their heads, I should say. It looks as though it will be Spain, the reigning European champions, heading through to just their second ever World Cup semi-final and their first since winning it in 2010. Here's Cucurella looking to wrap it up, and Senna Lorman's gathered that one fine. But it was the fact that he spilled the effort just a few moments ago that allowed Mikel Merino of Arsenal once again to be the hero off the bench, just moments after coming on like he did against Portugal, to score what looks like the winner. Spain 2, Belgium 1. In the final few seconds, it's Spain in possession, out to the right-hand side. We've got 10 seconds to play. Pedro Porro brings it forward, Doku back trying to chase, but Belgium are tired now, and Porro's done really well. Down the right-hand side, pulls it in, it's stabbed away by Nathan Ngoy. Belgium trying to win possession, but that is that. Spain have done it again. Mikel Merino has done it again. Off the bench with minutes left of normal time to play, the Arsenal man, just as he did against Portugal, has broken Belgium hearts by scoring the late winner. Spain through to their second ever World Cup semi-final, their first since winning the tournament in 2010. And Belgium's brave display up against the odds once again after losing Tielemans before the game to injury and Courtois during the match to injury as well, see their World Cup run ending at the quarterfinals. No trophy once again for the remnants of this golden generation. Their wait for their first major honour in their history goes on. It is Spain who will face France in the last four. Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, a fascinating game of football. A game that Spain showed their quality. They had to be patient, they had to wait for a mistake from Lomans, the substitute goalkeeper, and they needed a hero, and they got the hero again in Merino. He's done it time and time again for Arsenal, and he's started to do it again for his country now. That's 2-2 late on in the competition, in the World Cup. He's just come on our monitor, a huge smile on his face, but you have to say, Spain deserved to go through.
As Stephen Warnock says, he has the biggest grin of anybody inside SoFi Stadium, Mikel Merino. They had to work so hard for it, Spain. Belgium battled for so long, but in the end, it's Spain who are through. Spain 2, Belgium 1 it finishes in Los Angeles.
And I just have a feeling, Guillaume Balaguer, that at some point in the next couple of hours, I'll be watching a social media video of you going absolutely mad when Mikel Merino puts that ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was caught on socials on the camera or not, but it just felt like such a relief. It would have been so difficult to explain how you've been knocked out by a team that defended in a way that benefited you, that gave you the ball, where you had so many opportunities to shoot on goal and on target, where the substitutions made a difference, and still you had to go home. It would have been very, very difficult. And we managed to get to the semi-finals of the World Cup without a moment of genius. Lamine is getting better, no doubt about it, and he's trying hard. And without a miracle save either. It's just steady. Steady got here. Now they're gonna need much more than that to beat France, of course. But it feels like a relief. This was more or less what we all wanted. No, France, Spain semi-finals. Now Argentina, England.
You don't sound sure.
It will be another of those games in which it will be completely different to this one. Completely different. I keep saying that we beat France the last two times we met them. This is a better France, but in any case, Spain has to be much more accurate in the passing. They have to be better in the finishing. But again, we are, like France, are able to turn things around, bringing people on, and we're giving Mikel Merino the opportunity to celebrate his dad's celebration. His dad was an Osasuna player, and when he scored, not very often, he would just go to the corner and do the same dance that Mikel Merino, his son, does. His dad is here, and I'm sure there'll be a moment in an hour or so where they'll meet up and give each other a big hug again.
Stephen, there's lots to pick out between now and Stephen Nolan taking over at 10:30. But we better start with Merino, because he has just got the knack of doing that, and it's put Spain in a World Cup semi-final.
Yeah, and it is a knack, Steve. You're right. It's a massive skill set that often can't be taught. The timing of runs, the understanding of where the ball might drop, the calmness, the composure. We've seen it time and time again for Arsenal. We've listened to Mikel Arteta talk about how he's comfortable playing Mikel Merino as a centre-forward, because he trusts that he'll make the right runs, and he does make such brilliant runs. But that is it's a calmness. It's a real skill set. And again, we keep on talking about what players bring to the squad and what they do and what their qualities are. Mikel Moreno probably knows now that his role is as an impact substitute. Well, if they go on and win the World Cup now, how important was his contribution to that? He might have played probably fewer minutes than most of the players and the star players, but he's arguably had the biggest impact from a Spanish point of view, which is an incredible achievement to have within this squad.
He is for Spain what he is for Arsenal, Guillaume.
Yeah, the fixer in a way, but also the versatile player. He already scored a crucial goal in the Euros to take us to the final, and you've got that ability with him, the opportunity to get a player that can link up, but he will get into the box and he will finish. So now finally Spain, since he came on, was able to put crosses in to him, second post always, but also the Belgium defense just didn't know where to stop all those players that were getting to the box at the end, waiting for that cross. Pedro Porro was very often running on the right hand side and getting the ball into the penalty spot. That's where the likes of Fabian, we saw how he scored the first goal, or Mikel Merino get their wages from, really. And second time against Portugal as well, in which Dani Olmo, best player of Spain, even though the superior player of the game has been given again to Lamine Yamal.
Really?
Olmo was, yeah.
Oh, it's such a fix, isn't it?
Seriously?
I mean, what is going on here? I mean, I was at the Portugal game the other week against Croatia, and they give it Ronaldo. I'm like, come on, guys.
Come on.
It's the commercial side of things, but Olmo was the best and was replaced again. And we all had our arms up. How do you mean, Dani Olmo? And then, of course, replaced by Mikel Merino. Scored against Portugal, scored against Belgium, and we are in the semi-finals of the World Cup, for the second time in our history. That's all the amount of times we've been there.
I do sort of feel a little bit Vicky for Belgium, and the reason for that is they've had so many tournaments, often with the same group of players, where really the whole team has barely turned up, and it's cost them. After what happened against America, they had something to build on, and actually it's a couple of individual errors in the end, even against the superior Spain side, that have cost them.
Yeah, absolutely, and both from goalkeepers. You could argue that Courtois, given the level that he plays at, could have done better when he parried that first shot that led to Fabian Ruiz's goal, and then again from Senna Lormans, who's had such a brilliant season with Manchester United, to spill that shot and allow Marino again to follow up. But we've just seen Rudi Garcia, the Belgian manager, here inside the stadium leading that team talk as the Belgian fans now go across to our right hand side and applaud the fans that are congregated, particularly in the third tier of SoFi Stadium. And he was so impassioned when he was speaking to the players. It was almost as though they'd gone to extra time and he was giving them the galvanising speech to go again another 30 minutes. I mean, Belgium's tournament has been absolutely bonkers. They played dreadfully at the start. They went into their final group stage match knowing that they might crash out of the group again, as they did in 2022 and not get into the knockouts. Then they thumped New Zealand. Then they were moments away from going out against Senegal, who completely outplayed them in the last 32, got 2 late goals and then won it with the latest ever World Cup goal in extra time. Then, of course, the red card being suspended for following Balogun, all the noise around that and the controversy and the uproar, the Belgium FA saying they were astonished by the decision and appealing to FIFA. Then they thumped the USA in Seattle 4-1. And then for Yuri Tillemans, their captain, to have to pull out injured in the warm-up, for Thibaut Courtois, their number one, to have to pull out injured during the game. And the fact that even in the dying stages of this game, they were still causing Spain nervy moments, and we saw some really shaky Spanish defending after they took that 2-1 lead late on. But, for them to go out in this way is of course heartbreaking. It always is when you exit at this stage and so late on, and as you say, Steve, with errors. But I think when Belgium look back at this tournament, compared with their run at Euro 2024, compared with their run at World Cup 2022, they will be mightily proud of the latter stages and the way that their side gave them some moments to really remember.
It will also, though, Guillaume, be the end of the international careers for some players who will have expected to have gotten to a major final and haven't?
Yeah, I don't know who was the first one to come out with a golden generation, because
I think it was the Football Association in England.
For Belgium in this case. I mean, to be a golden generation, you have to win some gold, and then you can be called that. But he's put the expectations very, very high in Belgium, and it's interesting that people look back at that group of players. Of course, Lukaku almost didn't make it here. He's here now, plays last minutes. De Bruyne, Tielemans still 29, Trossard is 30, so they'll still be part of the team. But they actually had a good run. They were third in the last World Cup, and that seems to have just been forgotten, Roberto Martinez being the manager. I'm not sure what else you can ask these generations.
They should have got to a final at some point with those players, shouldn't they? Or is that harsh?
Which final? In which team do we take from that final?
Steve, it's not a given.
No, I know.
Yeah. No, I know, but you can't just look at a squad and go, they should make a final. You think about some of the best players in the world who've never played in a World Cup, who've never played in a Champions League final. It happens, and that's football, and that's how difficult it is to get to a final. And that's one of the pressures that comes with playing for Belgium as well, and playing in such a great squad, is that there's an outside pressure where people like you, Steve, who expect them to get to finals, that's the pressure that is on their shoulders. So it's not as easy as that. It's so difficult, because when you go to a World Cup, you're going up against the best players in world football, some of the best teams. You need a little bit of luck. They've not had luck in this one today, because they've lost Tielemans, they've lost Courtois. They probably couldn't make the substitutes that they needed to make because they were so light in midfield, and that goes against them. So there's an element of that as well, where you've got to have a sprinkling of luck on the way, and they just haven't had that, especially in this competition.
Well, one thing that Belgium have done very well in the last decade is to make sure that this legacy is not like it was in '86, and a spontaneous generation. It came up, they did really well, managed to get to the semi-finals of that World Cup, and that was it. They've got half of the squad involved here are getting their coaching badges. Some of them are already coaching at international level or mixing with the coaches, the under-16s, the under-14s. So they're trying to pass that on, whatever it was that they had, and took them far for a small country. So they're trying to put science to the ability to maintain Belgium right at the top. But I think we're demanding too much, but it comes down to that, to that baptism of fire, being called golden generation before time.
Game. It's interesting with the league, the Belgium league. I still think you'll get a lot of young players coming through, because the opportunities to play at highest level in Belgium are easier than it would be to break into a Premier League team, a La Liga team, and a Serie A team. So they will still get them opportunities, but then it's about the development after that. Where do they go from there? The issue you've got with a lot of top players now, where you talk about the coaching roles, is that they're paid that much money. Do they need that pressure? Do they want that pressure? And that's got to come from somewhere else, hasn't it? And that's the fine balance of trying to make sure that you're passing that knowledge down to the next generation of players.
Guillaume?
Yeah, no, they seem to be wanting to. That is the first thing. They seem to realise that, as I say, after '86, it's taking 30 years for them to actually shine again, and they don't want to miss on the continuous knowledge. But the fact actually that this generation have got with Doku, as I said, Tielemans and Trossard will still continue, the Catelare. You still got players that can make a difference. They are under 30, so they can still compete. But it is demanding a lot of a small country to actually even win anything. I was trying to think which of the teams that had been in a final in recent World Cups or European Championships you wanted out. I don't know if it was England or Italy you wanted out, or Spain or England or you know.
I take your point, and look, you all know me. I don't ask controversial questions, really. It's not really my style. But I do think there is an argument, and this is probably the right time to make the comment, because Kevin De Bruyne has been such a wonderful player for so many years, and he's played 120 some times for Belgium. that as a generation of players, Guillem, they have underachieved. I do think that argument exists. That's not saying, as Stephen was saying, that's not saying it's easy at all, but they've had some magnificent players and haven't succeeded in a way that a lot of people, probably a lot of Belgians, expected them to. Is that harsh?
From memory, I think they've qualified to at least the last 8 tournaments, which is the minimum I suppose you could ask for.
Absolute minimum.
So that you got that, and as I said, you've got even though the last memory of Qatar World Cup, they fell out in the last 16, didn't they? Here, quarterfinals, not bad. Semi-finals, lost the semi-finals of the World Cup.
Yeah.
Managed to get third. I don't know.
Am I being miserable?
Yeah, I just think that in the
fine.
context of the other teams, like an England side that has just lived the golden age, with an Italy that had got such an experience and managed to get a wonderful Euros, with Spain on their up as well. To actually demand Belgium to win is perhaps a little bit too much.
Okay, fine. Let's talk about Spain, because they won the game and I don't want to be accused of being miserable. The thing that struck me, Stephen, is there was a moment and the whistling started to come, and it just felt like a little bit of anxiety was beginning to descend on Spain from the stands, but they seemed very comfortable in that on the pitch. I don't think there was a moment tonight where I really thought they were in big trouble.
Well, I've got to be careful how I say this because I don't want to offend people, but the players on the pitch know better than the people in the stands. They understand the game better. So while all the fans are wanting more, the players are thinking, we know what we're trying to achieve here and we believe the process of what is being asked of us. So we're trying to break down a stubborn, organised Belgium defence, and they were organised and they were hard to play through. So what have you got to do? You've got to be patient, you've got to work them into the ground. You've got to think, we might need the 92nd minute, the 89th minute to score a goal, but do you know what? It will come. And it might happen. And do you know, if it doesn't, we've got another 30 minutes after that. And we believe if we continue playing the way that we play, we will eventually break them down. They won't listen to the outside noise. They're too experienced for that. They play at the highest level, these guys, and they've grown up playing this style of football, and that will not interfere at all with their mindset.
And also, they've been in this situation before. So quarterfinals of the Euros against Germany, in Germany, Mikel Merino scored in the minute 119, I think. Right at the end as well against England in the final, against Portugal too, right at the end of the 90 minutes. So they seem to think, and that there's no science behind it apart from the fact that they've done it before. They seem to think that it will come. That's where I got the confidence at half time of thinking the way that Belgium is playing is just giving, it's just allowing us to do our game, which means that because they're patient, it will happen.
But we're talking about a Spanish team here, and we're saying how patient they are, how it might take until extra time, and that's the fine margins of international football, and how difficult it is to win a competition. So when we're talking about Belgium before underachieving, at times it is the finest of margins to get over the line. I mean, there's been games, or certainly in which Spain have been involved in, where you thought they could actually go out here, but they continue to press and believe and probe and pick and pass, and there's just that mentality. Sometimes mentality can push you over the line compared to another team, and it can be huge.
They have that. So you know what they shout just before, after Luis de la Fuente has given his last few words, they get in a circle in the changing room, and then Rodri shouts 1, 2, 3, win, win, win. So there's no debate about pass the ball, pass. No, it's win, win, win. This is a winning generation, but winning breeds winning. The winning generation that saw us kids as win from 2008, 2012, who they won, some of these guys, the under-19s European Championships, the under-21 European Championships, lost to Brazil in the Tokyo Olympics, so silver medalists. They are a winning side, and the debate that may have happened in the past of, but we're not playing great, or a lot of the football was a little bit slow, or whatever, is a little bit abandoned by the entourage. We're not talking so much about that. We are now thinking, okay, we've seen it before, it may happen. By the way, this is the way it happens, where we just dominate the game. We find a player either coming from the bench or in between the lines, somebody that will come out with something. And as I said, we haven't needed a miracle save. We haven't needed our genius to do something. So that's still got to come if we need to.
And isn't it funny, Vicky, we were having the conversation at half-time. Spain have conceded a goal. If they felt invincible, suddenly they will realise that they weren't. What could that mean? In the end, absolutely nothing. They dealt with that perfectly.
Yeah, and I think Guillem's made such a good point there that, Spain are used to this. They've done it here against Portugal. They did it in the Euros final, of course, against England. They've done it in this stadium today in LA, getting the late goals. And I think there is a patience about Spain. There is a lack of panic about Spain and the way they play. And it felt as that game went on that it was more likely going to be Spain that looked as though they were building, we're going to find the breakthrough. But as Stephen says as well, these are the fine margins of major tournaments, and they are not invincible, Spain. And that's not just because they conceded a goal today. We saw after a first half that Spain were very much on top, particularly after they scored. Belgium put one move of brilliance together, a little cushioned header from De Ketelaere, and it's 1-1. We see in added time at the end of the second half, Unai Simon completely lose his head and come out and lose the ball on the edge of his penalty area, and a brilliant clearance by Laporte stopping Belgium, making it 2-2. So look, no team is ever going to go through a World Cup, no matter how good they are, without those sort of moments. But I think if you're France, clearly Spain's next opponent in the semi-finals, who've had a brilliant tournament themselves, and I think for many people are still the favourites to win the thing outright, that that they will look at this Spain side, and I think they will see chinks in the armour.
Steve, one thing, just don't focus on the goal conceded. We have won every single game but one of the Euros and the last Euros and this World Cup.
Yeah.
Every single game has been won. That is relatively shocking to actually see that they're doing that, but they seem to have, they know how.
I am loath to move away, not just from you three, but with the backing of Dr. Dre behind you. That said, we've got to hear from England's Ezri Konsa, because, as you will know, England have a bit of a right-back nightmare going on ahead of their game against Norway tomorrow night, that World Cup quarter-final, which is live, obviously, on 5 Live. Konsa has been telling Kelly Summers what it was like for him having to switch to right-back in the win over Mexico at the Azteca.
It was tough, with the heat and everything, and having to change positions, going to right wing back with a man down. It's not easy because, you have to tuck in, and then when the ball gets switched, you've got to run out and try and stop crosses. And I think the first 10 minutes was mentally was tough because I was feeling it a little bit, but I had to find the switch and overcome it. And credit to John Stones, who kept pushing me, encouraging me. He even asked to swap positions, but I told him no, don't worry, it's fine. So I had to find a switch, and thankfully I managed to find it just in time.
Right back's been one of the buzz phrases of this tournament because obviously England haven't had the best luck there. There's been a lot of speculation every game. Is he going to move you across to right back? Is that something that you've worked on in training at all?
No, not yet. But I'll always play wherever the manager wants me to play. As long as I'm on that pitch and helping the team, I'm happy, no matter where I'm playing.
So you would be happy to play there if called upon?
100%.
Does it make sense almost so at this stage of the tournament, I guess, because you've been one of the only constants in the defence to keep you there?
I don't know, I think that's down to the boss and whatever team he wants to pick. But like I said, if he wants me at right back or centre back, I'm always happy to do a job there. Super grateful to the boss for believing me and having that trust in me to play me in every game.
That's Ezri Konsa speaking to Kelly Summers. So from Los Angeles, we've still got Guillem Balaguer, Stephen Warnock and Vicky Sparks. We're on both coasts, though, because live from Miami is correspondent John Murray. Hello, John.
Hello, Steve. Yes, I'm at the stadium where the match will be played tomorrow. So this is my first experience of the Miami Dolphins stadium, and I'm tucked in a corner in what is our dressing room. I don't know which dressing room it is, but it's where they will be holding the media facilities ahead of this match. So looking around me, I've got all sorts of Miami Dolphins paraphernalia. There are helmets, pennants, American footballs, and lots of pictures of various Dolphins players on the walls all around me.
Oh, I love that. I mean, look, you've been to some amazing stadiums during this World Cup, and I know some of them have really kind of blown you away. You've only sort of just got there and had your first look, but the home of the Miami Dolphins, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and from the outside, I mean, this is obviously one of the leading stadiums in the United States, hence the reason it's hosting matches at the World Cup. The thing about it is, and I'm sure people have probably seen it on the television by now, the stadium in Miami, to me, it looks more like, our football stadium kind of stadium as opposed to American football. But we will, I'll reserve judgment until I've seen it from the inside, which I haven't yet in terms of the bowl of the stadium.
I bet you've been there, Stephen. That sounds like the kind of thing you would have done at some point.
I have. I did the Colombia-Portugal game there, which was phenomenal in terms of atmosphere. The game was decent as well. I think it's arguably one of the ugliest stadiums from the outside. However, when you get in it, it's like our stadiums. It gives a proper football atmosphere because it's quite close to the game. I think it was one of my favourites to go into. But when you turn up, it looks like an eyesore. It's like got the four big pointy pillars at each end of the ground in all four corners on the outside, and it looks a little bit like a concrete jungle, but then inside it comes to life. The atmosphere, the way it held the noise in there was absolutely brilliant.
You're going to be speaking to the England manager soon, John, so when we hear that over the course of the next sort of 12 hours or so, because it's getting on obviously here UK time, what sort of stuff do you think you'll be getting into?
Well, just following on from what Stephen was saying, I'd be very surprised if we do not have a very, very raucous atmosphere for this match, because I can tell you from having been in Miami for the last 24 hours or so, England fans and Norwegian fans are pouring into Florida for this match. So I think you will see very much, if people watch the pictures of this match, I think it'll be white in one half and the red of Norway in the other. As regards England, I do have a bit of news for you, actually. We've just heard from the FA, because England are now in Florida. They've arrived here. They're actually training right now at the Inter Miami training facility up to the north in Fort Lauderdale, which is around about half an hour's drive away from the stadium, and then they'll come here and do their media commitments, and we will be speaking to Thomas Tuchel and Harry Kane. It's Harry Kane who's going to be speaking to us on the eve of the quarter-final, and the news is that all of the England players, apart from Jordan Henderson after his broken arm, all of those England players are on the grass for that very light session, which I'm sure it is. So that means Mark Gay, Declan Rice, Reece James are all there with the squad on the grass, as well as Jarell Quansah, who of course will be suspended for this match. But I think from an England point of view, you've got to take that as a positive, that Reece James, Mark Gay and Declan Rice. We'll find out definitively from the manager later, but I would say that's positive news in terms of their availability.
Yeah, and that means, Stephen, that I can re-ask you the question that I asked you at half-time in the game that you're at, when we were like, who should England play at right back? And it felt like Ezri Konsa was the answer, but mostly because he was the only answer. If Reece James is fit, Reece James plays, right?
No, Ezri Konsa plays because Reece James isn't fully fit.
Okay.
To test him, I mean, listen, they'll say he is, and they'll say, yeah, fully fit. If it's the hamstring injury that he's had previously, why would you take a chance in a quarter-final in one of the biggest games of the World Cup and take that gamble? If you can get through and give him another 4 or 5 days to be ready, then maybe you might look at him in the semi-final, but that seems far too quick for me. I wouldn't want to take that gamble. And why would you chance losing a player early on in a game then to have to make a substitute? Again, I go back to your strength in depth and your squad that we talked about during our commentary, is that if you're in a World Cup squad, you should be good enough to play in the team. Ezri Konsa is more than capable. Jed Spence is more than capable of playing in them right back positions. Listen, if Reece James was fully fit throughout the squad, throughout the competition, and he hadn't missed any games with a hamstring injury, of course he plays right back.
Yeah.
Absolutely he does, but not when there's that element of doubt.
John, just before we let you go, I'm just curious what the experience of speaking to Thomas Tuchel has been like over the course of the tournament. Have you detected any change in him over that period, whether it's a growing sense of excitement? There's certainly been a growing sense of joy about him in a lot of the kind of videos we see within the England dressing room.
I think my experience, which is the night before the match, interviewing him, and immediately post-match, I think particularly he has had his game face on here more than I've seen before. And, you know, he is always very impressive when he speaks in the media. He's always got plenty to say. He offers a great deal, but I think I have noticed, actually, for every match, a little bit of tension there, which I think is only to be expected. But I feel as well that when I spoke to him after the DR Congo win, and I said, you know, people are saying about England that they only just scraped through against DR Congo. People are saying, you know, France or this, Argentina or that. You know, he was as passionate in his answer to that as I've seen him, I think. And also in the aftermath of the win in Mexico City, speaking to him there, you know, he was struggling to keep a lid on it, let's put it that way. And that wasn't the case with Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, we had a quick word with. You know, they were very up. But I think the image that Thomas Tuchel is trying to send out here is that, you know, a calm authority. That's what I'd say. And I think he's pulled that off to this point. Interesting contrast, I was listening to Ståle Solbakken, the Norwegian coach, who was speaking a little earlier today. And he was saying that the Norwegians, he said, they feel deep down that they feel that they can win. But he said if they're not at our very best, England will go through. And also, I thought really nice from Ståle Solbakken, who admitted that he grew up as a Liverpool fan, and as we know, you know, he was briefly the manager of Wolverhampton Wanderers. He said one of his great World Cup experiences that he remembers was the disappointment from the World Cup in '82, when Kevin Keegan had a chance to equalise against Spain and wasn't able to put it in. He headed it wide. He said that was one of his biggest regrets, he said, in watching football when he was growing up, because Kevin Keegan was his big hero, and he knows that Kevin Keegan is not well at the moment. And really touchingly, he sent a message to Kevin Keegan and he said, fight on. So I thought that was a really nice touch from Ståle Solbakken.
That's brilliant. John, thank you very much. That's correspondent John Murray in Miami. Full commentary tomorrow night. Mark Chapman's on air from 8:30. Kicks off at 10. England versus Norway for a place in the World Cup semi-final. On the other side of the draw, we now know it is going to be Spain versus France after Spain beat Belgium by 2-1. So thank you to Stephen Warnock and to Guillaume Balaguer, and to Vicky Sparks as well on the West Coast. We've been on both coasts there in the space of the last few minutes. Right, next up on 5 Live is Stephen Nolan after the latest news with Shabnam Yunus-Jul.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The voice of the UK and the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Thank you, Steve. Here is the news and sport. A 26-year-old white British man has been arrested over the murder of Anne Widdecombe. The 78-year-old former MP was found dead at her home on Dartmoor yesterday morning with serious injuries. The incident is not being treated as terrorism. Authorities in southern Spain say they're working around the clock to identify the bodies of 12 people who've died in wildfires there. It's believed 4 British tourists could be among them. 23 people are missing after the blaze in the province of Almeria. Prince Harry and Meghan have visited the King and Queen with their children Archie and Lilibet for the first time in 4 years. The family gathered at Highgrove House this afternoon. And the Met Office says it reached 35.2 degrees in Ripley and Derbyshire this afternoon. This has also become the first year ever when temperatures of 35 degrees or more have been recorded on 6 separate days. In sport, as you've been hearing, Spain booked their place in the World Cup semi-finals thanks to Mikel Merino's 88-minute winner against Belgium. It was 1-1 and heading to extra time when Belgian keeper Thibaut Courtois went off injured and was replaced by Sanet Lemons. The Manchester United man couldn't keep out Arsenal's Merino, who sealed the 2-1 win to set up Spain against France in the last 4. Defending men's champion Yannick Sinner is back in the Wimbledon final after a clinical straight sets win over Novak Djokovic. The Italian top seed will play the French Open champion Alexander Zverev for the title on Sunday after the German ended a fairy tale fortnight for British wildcard Arthur Ferry. Meanwhile, Great Britain's Alfie Hewitt is into his 5th successive wheelchair singles final after fighting back from a set down to beat Gustavo Fernandez. And in cricket, Sophie Ecclestone became England's all-time leading wicket taker across all formats as the hosts Dogs fought back late on day one against India at the first women's test at Lord's. Eccleston claimed 3 for 68 to move above Catherine Siver-Brunt with 338 wickets as India were bowled out for 285. England will resume tomorrow on 21 for 1.
I've tried to explain it to my friend. I said Haaland's my favourite player, but I need him to be terrible on Saturday. My friend said, that's not how favourites work. I said, it is now.
The FIFA World Cup 2026 on 5 Live Sport.
Norway versus England.
Tomorrow night at 10.
Ask your smart speaker. Play 5 Live.
This is the voice of the UK.
Everything's just totally gone.
You either choose to do it or you choose not to do it.
We dehumanise them, and by dehumanising them, we dehumanise ourselves.
This is Stephen Nolan
on 5 Live.
Good evening. So, thanks to Steve Grossman and the team for their brilliant coverage tonight. Spain joined France in the World Cup semi-final. England, of course, just 24 hours away now from their encounter with Norway. We'll have more of that, of course, later on. Let's begin tonight with the story which has caused shock today. A 26-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of murder after the former MP, Anne Widdecombe, was found dead at her home on Dartmoor. Devon and Cornwall police say she had sustained serious injuries. They say a white British male is in custody. There is no evidence, they say at this time, to suggest that this is a politically motivated crime, and it is not being treated as a terror incident. Assistant Chief Constable Matt Longman gave a